Blynd Submyshynz, where DIY bands submit songs for us to listen and react to blind. Every week, we'll bring a guest from the underground music, arts, or entertainment scene to help you sort through mountains of new music. We go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to today's episode of
Blynd Submyshynz.
Oh, take it solo.
Blynd Submyshynz. That was like the princess and the ogre or something there.
It's been a day, man.
Has it been a day?
Yeah, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
I hate when you're rushing around and you're like, ha, 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 and then you sit down and you're fucking all covered in sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do I smell?
I get it.
Get you some of that.
Smell great. Yeah. Ooh, nice. Oh, yeah.
Get it. I have good, strong deodorant, so I think you should be fine.
You got some good pheromones.
I don't know about that.
Isn't that where your pheromones come from? Your sweat, right? I thought so.
I'm not a pheromonologist.
Maybe
I hadn't
not.
even thought about pheromones until we watched Black Widow.
Yeah.
And that was like some science MacGuffin bullshit. We've made it so that if you smell my pheromones. That was my Russian accent.
It was actually a really good movie, though.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Oh,
I thought it was great.
I thought it was a fun flick.
Yeah.
Silly, fun movie.
Yeah.
Should have come out about 5 years ago.
Yes.
But
yes.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Who knows?
Enough Marvel talk. On
Marvel
today's
talk.
Marvel cast.
Yeah.
Hey, we are have a little bit of a look. We're changing things
change
up
some things up
as we roll into episode 50. Who
But
knows
you
what
do
we'll
get a
then.
guest.
But you get a guest.
Yeah.
And kind of like our lightning round, though, the guest and what we're going to listen to are related. So maybe we'll let JD, since it was his brainchild, discuss what we're going to do.
Yeah. So today's guest is a guy named Jarom Bischoff, who has been in a ton of bands. We'll talk about those probably. But he is also the founder and the guy that runs CrucialFest, which is like I would say a regional heavy music festival. They're on their 10th edition coming up this summer. I mean, it's gone from tiny to absolutely huge where, they had Pig Destroyer and Baroness playing together one year. And I mean, it had like 30 bands. It was over 3 days. And now he started to kind of scale it back. But we'll talk about sort of like what he's learned doing this festival for the last 10 years.
Yeah, a big mamma jamma festival. And this year is really interesting because it's still like 30 bands. Mm-hmm. And there's, some well-known bands in there, but the whole thing is free.
Yeah, totally free.
That's fucking nuts.
You can buy VIP tickets, but there's only like 75 of them. It's not even a ton of them.
What do you get? Like a back scratcher and
you get a back scratcher
and some beads, some Mardi Gras.
I think you get like a VIP line to the bar, a VIP line to the stage.
Oh,
the stuff that you really want at a festival.
Special underwear.
Yeah,
you get some Utah Jimmy Jams.
Yes.
So what was So was it originally like a genre festival, or has it always been? Because this lineup is pretty diverse.
Yeah.
Has it always been that way?
I mean, as far back as I can remember, I don't know. I haven't been to every single one of them. I don't even think I went to the first.
I think I'm conflating because also wasn't there like an all hardcore festival in Salt Lake that you've gone to, or was that something different?
I don't know.
Or that was like full of a lot of the
old.
old.
I've gone to some totally not Salt Lake related. Those were like Revelation Records festivals.
Rev Fest.
Yeah, Rev Fest, right. And then like their 25th anniversary, and then they did like some show, like a memorial show for one of their artists.
Yeah, see, I'm smart enough to know when I'm being dumb.
Yeah.
Definitely like merging two memories together at this point. I just can't figure out which one.
Yes. No, Revelation really has no ties to Salt Lake other than people in their bands lived there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Trying out so it's like, we got a new car. Very exciting shit. And one of the things you get is 3 months of Sirius. And what I've been doing is listening to Howard 101 because I haven't listened to Howard Stern in a long time. And it just reminded me how at the beginning of his career, like if you go and watch the old, public access show or any of the old videos, it's like, hey, this is Howard Stern. Yeah. And now if you listen to Howard 101, it's like, hey, everybody, this is Howard Stern. Like the man just completely changed his voice over. I mean, and I know that was. That was dealt directly with in Private Parts. The movie sort of about the early part of his career where he sort of like developed his radio voice. But it's funny to see how you can actually adjust, especially once you start listening to yourself. for hours and hours a week. You go, ooh, I don't like the way that sounds.
I'm gonna change that.
Maybe I'll go ahead and change my voice.
Yeah, that's why I talk like this now. I like this all the time.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Episode 1, I sounded like this.
We should do an
I don't know
episode.
where the southern accent came from.
like Alex from Nopes, and actually just put a pitch shifter on us for the entire thing.
I can't believe that happened.
Fuck you, Alex. And then didn't even tell us until much later.
He didn't even tell us. The only reason I saw it was because I follow him on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That was actually pretty rad.
Yeah, it was actually.
Someone else feel free to do a similar thing again because it was hilarious.
Yeah, seriously. And we won't even know.
All right, so we were giving Jarom a minute.
But yeah, so I was giving, we were talking about that, and then so he's been in a ton of bands. There's actually one of his bands I love them. They're called Worst Friends, who came up in a recent episode because actually that band had a member that was in Ditch in the Delta, and we talked about it with
Worst Friends.
Yeah, with
last week.
Last week. Last week?
Yeah, we're getting. I think we talked about it.
We're getting caught up again.
Hey, we talked about it last night.
Yeah,
actually,
we did.
It wasn't last week.
We did
doing back-to-back records.
Yeah. But then he was also in a band called Loom, which sort of was like a younger generation's Iceburn in a way in Salt Lake. And so like from Loom came Kim,
Thread,
Sub Rosa, came Thread,
Yarn, eventually,
and then there was more Ditch in the Delta. The kind of one of those bands that spawned other bands.
Gotcha. So Kim was in Loom.
Yes, Kim was in Loom,
playing
the violin,
and singing.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So,
is there like a glut of violin players in Utah? Is that is that a thing?
I guess so. I don't know. We'll ask Jarom.
Yeah. All right. Well,
that'll be the first question.
I think we've given him enough time.
Yes, we have to take care of the dogs.
Take care of Barky Dog, the dog.
Should we play him in real quick?
Oh yeah. What are we gonna play him in with?
I want to play Worst Friends just because I love it. I'm gonna start like a minute in because it has quite an intro. So.
Okay.
All right.
This is after a minute of intro.
My volume doesn't work as good as yours.
No.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
What's up, guys?
JD was just introducing me to Worst Friends.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was.
Nice.
And I was.
What are you guys listening to?
True Winter.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun project.
Did that album actually really never get released?
Not really. No, we just put it up there. I haven't even put it on Spotify. It was just.
Oh wow.
I don't know. We played local shows, and it was a hobby band. It was fun. It was a fun band to be in.
I bet.
Came about from the fallout of another band I was in called Loom.
Right.
And the singer and I kind of didn't get along at the time that I split ways with Loom. And then a couple weeks later, we were like, let's just play music together anyways. And so we called it Worst Friends. And we did a two-piece, an album that is on Spotify. And then a friend of ours, Elliot Seacrest, who had played in a lot of cool bands around here. Parallax is the one that I love most in Provo. But he joined the band and we did the Business Ethics album.
Yeah, that was actually. This is weird, but that's the first album I bought on Bandcamp. Huh. I don't know why or when or
Wow.
That Worst Friends record.
Yeah.
So that's how we released it. We put it out and said it was a pay what you want or just download it for free. And so it might have been during that time even that we did that, and then just
maybe
haven't done anything with it really since.
No, it's really good. It makes me want to go back and listen to the rest of it.
Yeah, I think you'll really like it. I like that album a lot.
It's one of my favorite records I've ever been able to be a part of. Those two musicians are both. I played with a lot of psychos, but they are the most crazy musicians that I've ever known.
Yeah, I mean the little snippet I just heard, I have listened to over the years a lot of music that's in that vein, but that wasn't my primary thing. But through this podcast in particular, I've now been listening to a lot more kind of noise and math and
Sludge and
but the kind of the more tech side of sludge, like Pupil Slicer and Yautwa. And those are just things that weren't on my radar exactly, but now it's like becoming go-to music for me.
I bet you guys are so much more up to speed on so many bands than I am because of the fact that you do this. I think that's really cool that you are discovering stuff all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the genesis of it. Was me and JD bored in July of last year, going, shit. We're not running shows, we're not playing shows, we're not talking to people about music. I guess maybe we could just talk about it on the internet.
Let's just talk to each other.
Get our
See if anybody else wants to join us.
Yeah, bug our friends into coming on and bullshitting about music. But no, I mean,
awesome.
But the real genesis was just the sheer volume of really high quality music. That record sounded incredible to me, and you're like, oh yeah, we made it. We never released it. I just threw it up on Bandcamp. It's like, how many other records that good are on Bandcamp that just nobody knows about? Sort of the genesis of this whole idea.
Millions for sure. I mean, just people that I know that record stuff, and then like they just I don't know, put it out in like a really small form. Don't even try to do any kind of publicity on it or anything. Don't have any intentions of touring. They just want to document their music that they make. And that's a big part of it for me too, is just like having something that I can enjoy through the years and as a reference of something I made, it's almost like so personal for people that they're not really, a lot of people aren't concerned about putting it out to the masses or even trying to really get it out, even putting any effort in, just make it and then make another one.
Yep. Yeah, it's very zen, right? To just like with no intention of the end goal, to just make the thing and let it into the wild, and then move on to the next thing instead of promoting the shit out of it. And
right.
Well, and
worrying about how many likes you got.
We've talked about this with Bandcamp a lot too, because Bandcamp sort of blurs the line between a like music delivery platform and this, I don't know, this like weird historical archaeological record of music, and mostly
it's an archive,
band music. It's like an archive of, and artists are treating it that way. Oh, here's a demo for a song. Here's the refined version of it. Here's the version that came out on the album, and you can like go back and even hear the evolution of the same song over time with some artists, because it's so easy. Mm-hmm. It's frictionless to put shit up on there. So why not?
Super easy.
Much easier than Spotify. If you've ever had to deal with the fucking the digital distro, like DistroKid or whatever, what most people use to get music on all the digital platforms, you have to pay money and work through a third party. Whereas Bandcamp, you just make an account.
Right.
If you've made your personal Facebook page, you can put a band page together. Yeah. If you used any social media platform, you can figure out Bandcamp and then put your music out all on your own without the blessing of anybody else.
Yeah, it's funny. I still, after 5 years or 6 years that record's been out, it's like still like right on my to-do list to like put it on CD Baby so that it'll be on Spotify. Yeah, it's just like taking that long to do it. Funny. I do think like CD Baby and TuneCore and some of those are like pretty easy ways.
Yeah,
it's like what, $30 for a
they're all different. Some of like we use DistroKid, and it's like $10 per song per year or something like that.
And then with CD Baby, it's just a upfront one time, and then I like still collect royalties from, like I just still get like a $20 check every month that's like from all these tiny pennies of random shit that we've put out. Because I used to be I used to own Exigent Records after I was on it. I bought it and then did some stuff with it for a little bit, and then quickly just moved on to doing the festival. But I still get little residuals, and it's like if I were to put in some time and try to like push some of that stuff around and put some new stuff up, I mean, you can get a little income stream.
You can get a stream going, yeah.
If you try to get on playlists and whatever, like that builds up and lasts forever.
Yeah,
Almost. It's been 10 years that I get stuff still.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and lots of artists don't even know, like, don't register with, with the songwriting organizations to collect the royalties for
like ASCAP and stuff.
Yeah, like ASCAP or
I think
BMG.
CD Baby does that for you, but it's been a while. And
then tracking and submitting your for performance royalties, because all the venues pay into a fund, and anytime you go and play your music at a live show, you're entitled to a certain amount of money for the stuff that you played that's paid into theoretically by the venues. Most of them don't do it because they're either broke or assholes.
I can't even. That's like one of those things that's technically there, but it's really only there for like people doing arenas, and like no one else really even.
Well,
like,
so that
I know it's technically there for everyone, but like I played thousands of shows. I've never got a performance, royalty or.
So
or
that
whatever.
that was the eye-opening thing for me, is I thought the same way, but my buddy Jeff Owens, who's in a band called Goya, and he spent some time in Spirit Adrift and a few other bands. He said from Goya alone, the 1 year where he actually tracked and submitted, he collected about $3,000 in performance royalties. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
So it's like, huh.
So that's wow. Yeah. That's something that's one of those things for me that's like, oh yeah, like I've heard that stuff exists in theory, but I never even. Of the thousands of shows I've played, I've never thought to do anything like that.
To track it and submit it. Yeah.
Are you currently in any bands?
I'm not at like this precise moment.
But you play drums.
I am like, I play the drums.
That's impossible. Drummers are always in bands. Usually three.
I know. I'm an okay drummer too, and I don't know. I just like at this particular moment, I just have to make CrucialFest work, and like it's such an important thing for me right now that it's all consuming for me right now, and I love it. But I can't pretend that I'm going to be able to be in a band at the moment, but I hope to be able to find some flexibility on the back end as soon as I get through this sort of threshold that I'm at with it.
But
I miss it, and I've got my drum set up through the wall there, and I don't know, like kind of I don't know if I just want to find some new people to play with, but that's like that can be too much work.
It's like dating, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's worse, really.
Go find yourself some more worst friends.
It's just like everyone, we all know each other, and but I mean, there's dudes around that I haven't jammed with yet, and I don't know. I'll figure something out. I promise. I'll report back.
Start mining the younger crowd.
I don't know what that even is. I feel that. I've realized I don't have a clue what's going on in that respect. If you're under 21, you're not my concern at all. And maybe I don't know. I want to try some stuff, but I swear it's going to end up being more like aimed at people like me and their kids rather than like 16 to 19-year-old
actual young people.
I swear I'm just gonna have to skip it and just be like, I'll just do a thing for kids. I've got some lineup people with those, like I don't know. I can understand that.
I'm so old, when I say young people, I'm thinking like, under 35. Not 16 to 19. It would be interesting to try and to make a concerted effort to go, okay, I want to make music that will appeal. I have a teenager. I have two of them. Could I make music that would appeal to my kids and their friends? I think
I'm more like
no.
I'm more like, how can I change their minds to like what I'm already?
Bingo.
Yes, exactly.
I can't.
Although I was just at my rehearsal studio, and I came home, and my 13-year-old daughter was in the downstairs on an electric piano. She plays drums, teaching herself the Pirates of the Caribbean theme on the piano. She said she'd been down. She said she'd been down there for like 2 hours, hacking away with the YouTube video up, just trying to learn how to play it.
That's so crazy.
I was like, sweet.
I mean, there's talent out there. There's like a bunch of youth programs, especially the rock camp in Salt Lake City, that like in a few more years there's just gonna be like crop after crop after crop of little like little musicians. Like just I swear it's coming back one of these days.
Yeah,
one of these days.
Yeah,
yes.
Bands are gonna be the important thing to be in when you're 18 again.
Yeah, well, this has come up, but we had a crazy hardcore show here in San Jose the first weekend that kind of made its way across the internet. In like the parking lot at a warehouse somewhere, 1,500, 2,000 kids showed up, and in the videos there were a lot of really young people, and then the weekend after that there was a punk rock flea market at one of the venues here called the Ritz. And we drove by, and there were a lot of kids. There were a lot
There was a line around the corner.
There was a line around the corner, which
But
was
lots of kids,
great,
yeah.
but there were a lot of young people there, and it's been a while since I can say I've seen that just around town.
That's cool. I wonder what the marketing is about, or what band is the one that's got tendrils.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some, like Drain was one of them, which is this huge up and coming band on Revelation.
Oh, that's cool.
Gulch. Tsunami.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gulch
Tsunami was. Yeah, Tsunami was the one.
I mean, it's
kind of blown
I
up.
gotta say, it was like.
I guess you guys
like
do live
big
in California.
Hardcore bands.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Well, it's San Jose though.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been here, but San Jose
I have been to San Jose. I played San Jose probably 6 times, though I don't know that I could even tell you one of the venue names.
Oh, come on.
It was
so I played a haunted hotel up in the hills close to you guys.
Oh,
do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
In the Santa Cruz Mountains?
Yeah, it's
the Brookdale Lodge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
played there.
Definitely legendary.
I've played a
Cactus Club,
a bar venue on the downtown kind of strip.
You totally played at the Caravan.
The Caravan.
Oh, the Caravan, yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Caravan.
Good. Still here.
I played in Santa Cruz at a little bar that's kind of just outside of the downtown area. I mean,
Blue Lagoon.
There's a ton. Could have been the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah. Blue Lagoon's right downtown, like half a block from the Catalyst.
There was another one that was like a hookah lounge or something that they did shows at.
Wasn't a hookah lounge. Anyways, I played this game all day. But Jesse Cassard was a friend of mine that lived in Santa Cruz, and he did Soma Productions.
Okay.
I don't know if that rings a bell.
Yeah.
But he would book us down there, Loom at the time. Yeah, we played there plenty of times. But
nice.
It's funny.
So did you? Because I know Worship is on CrucialFest.
Yeah.
And I know they're a Santa Cruz, sort of Santa Cruz band.
They're kind of like south of Santa Cruz, right?
They're Salinas,
yeah.
Yeah. But
Monterey or
so
something.
did you know him through that, or did he just?
No, I don't even know where I know him from. I think we just know. I think we just know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It kind of worked out, but I never met him on a tour or anything like that.
Oh, he's a good dude. We had him on the show a few episodes ago.
Super good dude. He's a super good dude.
Yeah.
He's just totally down for the cause. He's helped me find he's helped me reach out to some potential sponsors and stuff. And
oh, nice.
He's really in it for the cause and wants to help out. And man, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that kind of thing.
We found out he's got access to the Holy Grail, which is the Taco Bell.
The Taco Bell cards.
The Taco Bell cards for bands. So hit him up.
Yeah.
Taco Bell cards I remember from being in a band was on the back of the receipt, and then you do the survey and get a free burrito. Burrito.
No, he's talking about legit Taco Bell taco credit cards, preloaded with cash.
For bands, they give them out to bands for tour or anything.
Yeah, it's like a program that they have that nobody knows about. It's called
that's super cool.
Bell on the Road or something, or I don't know.
Well, Josh knows about it.
Yeah, Josh
that's
knows
what he
about
does.
It. Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Well, I know what I'll be talking to him about next.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna make a run for the border.
Totally.
Only if they bring back my favorite chili cheese burrito, though, or the enchilada, which was one of the original Taco Bell items, and I can't believe it's gone. The nerve.
Yeah.
Well, interesting.
Glenn Bell is rolling in his grave somewhere. Where's my enchilada?
Where's my enchilada? Yeah. For sure. So speaking
gordita crunch wrap for me.
Mentioned Worship. This is going to be the 10th CrucialFest that you've done.
Yeah.
So I mean, did it actually start 10 years ago? Did you skip any?
We skipped last year because everyone skipped everything last year. But other than that, we were 10 years in a row.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. And how did it start? Where did this? I mean,
I don't know.
What's the founder story? No.
So I have always since I was young, in 8th grade or something, I started like just being really into like playing drums and being in bands, and like I just liked being the guy that's the drummer of this band, and that's like who I am. And so like that's like kind of how I formed part of my identity, is by like what I know. It's like this whatever, it's not like kind of superficial, but it's just true. So you know, and then I was in these bands, and so I was in Loom at the time, and I was just like all in for that band. That was like everything else in my life was just to make that be a thing. And so at a certain point, I like was getting really frustrated with it, because I was kind of like being pulled in two ways, like to keep doing that or to like go back and finish school and do all of that, you know, just kind of like the standard debate. But I decided I needed to go back to school and wanted to do all of that. So parted ways with Loom. And then I was like, oh, well, now who am I? And
I'm no longer the drummer.
Like I still need to like do something. I need to feel like I'm working on some cool thing. And I really liked and miss about the road, just seeing the friends that I have that live places that I don't. So that's like the biggest thing, really. And so I was like, well, maybe I can get them to come here for something, and I can still see them once a year and have a big kind of a party that's sort of a halfway reunion kind of a thing. And so I've always tried to like include reunions and kind of like have that element to CrucialFest, but also just bringing bands in from out of town that at first it was just bands that I know and like friends that I have, and you know, brought all of them in. There was like Sleeping in Gethsemane, District of Evolution. I can't remember if Prize Country played that year, but another one of their bands might have. My Crosha played that year, and these are all bands that were like bands we had either toured with or were put out from Exigent Records before we got on the label. And just family, you know. So started with that and just tried it out. And like I also like was really jealous of like the fest and like all these like in Gainesville and all these other festivals that I'm like, I'm never like really gonna be able to go to these, maybe once every, you know, once in a while. But and I had been to South by Southwest, and that was a crazy party. So I just did this, so now this is what I do.
Nice.
I did the record label thing for a little bit, and pretty quickly decided that I'd rather put my work into the festival stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's funny, like people who've never been in a band or put on a show or run a festival or been involved with the record label couldn't even begin to imagine how hard all of those things are to do, how much harder than you would think on the surface they are. And like we talked a bunch last year about the missing anxiety in our lives of not having a show to promote. Like, as much as I love running shows, the weight off your shoulders of like worrying about ticket sales and crowds and all of that shit just was gone for the whole year. And even it was like it was no one's fault. It just happened, and we didn't have to worry about it. It was like, this is kind of nice, actually.
Kind of nice.
Whew, I feel so chill. But then, you know, immediately we started dreaming up, you know, all right, what are we gonna do? And then I got people messaging me. Buddy from Glory or Death Records messaged me. He's like, hey, High on Fire's booking a bunch of shows. What do you think about trying to put something together in San Jose? It's like, God damn it, buddy, leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
I don't have to worry about that right now. So
yeah. I totally get what you're saying with that. Like, it was really nice at first to take a breath. I think it was at a certain level healthy and therapeutic for everyone to just take a step back, but then you start to miss it. But the best part is right now, like, I am loving the anxiety right now.
Okay.
Doing this. Like, I'm like writing it in a way that I don't think I ever have. And I'm just like, hey, let's just like, oh, got a minute, bust the laptop out. Like, let's stay up all night and just keep it going and just do all the things that need to be done. And the more stuff pops up and, you know, it gets frustrating. It seems like there's not enough time, but just like, I don't know, being back in that now, I feel better about it. And like, it's more important now than ever or something.
Yeah.
But there's something really motivating about it now that wasn't there before after this break.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure. And you know, what's funny is like the things that people probably don't even consider that are some of the hardest, most frustrating things to do. Like I think about you know, if you have multiple stages, or even if you only have one stage, like the first draft of, all right, here's the play order, here's the slots everybody's getting, and what you know you're gonna fucking hear back from certain people depending on who you've booked about how they feel about the slot they've been offered, and you're just like, God damn it, it's like, please everyone be nice. I really don't want to have to fight about slots and move people around.
Yeah, no, it makes me think more about so like with the 3-stage schedule, which I've done a couple of times, trying to figure out how to stagger them in such a way that you can have some kind of a crowd flow happening, and then dealing with how long everyone's sets need to be within that, and then dealing with cancellations and people having to switch days and like having to move those pieces around, like, and just having a big spreadsheet with a few tabs that you're just like, and you've got all the times for everything all listed out and the breaks, and you're just shuffling things around and playing Tetris with it. And yeah, that's kind of more what it makes me think of. I've been lucky to not have usually too much pushback about the slots, because I'm just careful to make sure whoever's playing before is like happy to be playing with who's playing after them to the best of my ability. But I deal with a lot of like smaller stuff than other festivals, so I think that's
I mean, we're the biggest show we've ever put on is kind of maybe on the order of one day of CrucialFest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
exactly.
And that is, you know, there's so many things about it that the average person would have no idea. Like when I go to Psycho now, or a big festival like that, I have a real appreciation for what it takes. Like when everybody's bitching about the back line or whatever they're bitching about, because there's always something they're going to be bitching about.
I mean, yeah, anyways.
It's like, I know.
Exactly.
It's like, I get your frustration, but you have no fucking idea. Except in the case of Psycho now, like, Evan sold that shit to whatever, the company that owns MGM. So I guess I don't feel too bad about where's his budget for backline and why is all the equipment busted by day 3. Like, maybe prepare for that. Somebody's got the wallet to make sure that's not going to happen. So I don't know. It goes both ways. But I was glad to have a break. But I'm looking at this lineup now and feeling kind of jealous that
I know that
we don't have anything going on.
Yeah, and it seems
which lineup.
The current
the CrucialFest 10 lineup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But I mean, you told us how you got started, and I know I went to a couple. I've been out to a couple, like not the whole fest, but like I happened to be in town for work or visiting my parents, and got to go. Like I think the first one I saw was Big Business and Red Fang, and was it a band you played?
That was
maybe?
Like which one?
You.
That was probably the year with like Helms Ali and Calvin Wall City.
Yes, I think and
like
and it was at Urban Lounge.
The locals on that one were super solid too.
Yeah. I mean, that was incredible. I still remember that show vividly because it was such
like
a great show.
CrucialFest 4, I think.
Yeah.
One of the best ones though, for sure.
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, yeah, Red Fang, Helms Ali. I mean,
Big Business.
You just named some winners there, so it's hard to hard to go wrong with that. With the lineup like that.
But then I mean, I know by CrucialFest 8, you had like Neurosis and Chelsea Wolf and Pig Destroyer and Russian Circle, and I mean, you got big. And so and it was like a 3-day fest, I think, at that point. And now it looks like you're kind of. Like, what have you learned? What's the journey been like to go from this tiny thing with your friends
still trying to figure everything out? And I don't know. A couple of the years, so there was year 8 and then there was year 7 that we had a mixture of like, we had like Baroness and Red Fang on the one hand, but then we had like Starfucker and the Growlers on the other hand, and like had like a more of a variety of like indie rock and stuff with the heavy stuff too. And then like the night shows were like Urban had like Woven Hand and Weed Eater and Earthless. And then at the other night show had more like electronic and indie and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like we tried something really big there. That was like the biggest thing we've ever done. And we partnered with SNS to do that one. And then 8, we tried it at the fairgrounds and tried to adjust back to like, well, okay, this time let's try just like the biggest heavy bands that we can get. And I mean, ultimately, like, there's just not really the market in Salt Lake to support that. There's not enough people and enough cities close to each other to draw. Like, it's a 6-hour drive from Boise, and there's like 20 people there that want to come to this. And then there's like, it's like, you know, it's 10 hours to Denver, 10 hours to Portland, 10 hours to San Francisco, 10 hours to LA. Like, people aren't going to drive here for this when if they just wait 2 weeks, there's going to be something better like in their hometown.
Yeah.
So like, it's just not, that's just not the way to grow it and to make it happen. And it's not really like what it's necessarily about either. I've always tried to like blend like getting some really cool headliners, but then like using that as a way to put like some of my favorite local bands like right underneath them, you know, and give them like some exposure as well. And I think that people here are, well, what I'm banking on this year, what my experiment is, which it's always a new experiment of what might work. But my experiment this year is that I think people are more sensitive to the ticket price than they are to the lineup, because a lot of people here like music, but they're not necessarily like, they might have heard of one or two of like the bigger, heavier bands, but like they're not going to know all of them, and they're not going to want to pay the ticket price it costs to see all of them together. And so I think people are more sensitive to the ticket price than the bands. And so I just made it free and decided that I just want to try booking whatever I want rather than whatever is like big other places. Because this market is just different. It's a different kind of community. It's not like, you know, a band from here can do really well here and bring 100 people to a show, but they might be able to go to Germany and play for, you know, 2,500 people. So like,
like a sub rosa.
It's just odd, but there are people here that go to shows, and you know, there's the community. And I think like a band like Shelter Red is like not this band playing like huge festivals all over the place, but they're crazy and they like deliver an insane show, and the stuff they write is like, you can't even comprehend it, and they just blow everybody away. And it's like, they can pack a venue here, and if I do a free show and have them, like, it's gonna be great. Them playing with Gaytheist and Ills, and Baby Girl, who's another solid local that draws a lot of people. It's like all this adds up, and it's like all the bands have an infinite guest list. Anyone who's curious, that's like, oh, like in this city there are tons of people who are like, oh, CrucialFest, I've heard of that. I've seen people wearing those shirts. I want to go sometime and check it out. But like, they're not going to know who Pig Destroyer is, and they're not going to like pay to see him. So like, if I just kind of remove that and go a different way with it, it's like, I think a lot of like looky-loos, if you want to call them that, or people that like just want to support the event and like know of some of the locals, like I think those people are going to be
just
there.
Show up.
Yeah.
Add it all together. It's going to be a really good turnout this year.
Yeah.
And you come to the first night and you go, "Fuck, that was really fun. I didn't know any of those bands. Why don't I'll go tomorrow night? I don't know any of those bands either. But if it's half as good as this was, it'll totally be worth it."
Right. And like I like what I book. Like I just went through and like put together a playlist for Spotify last night, and like put 2 songs of every band. And so to do that, I was going through like hitting all the tracks, and like I really think people that come that don't know of any of these bands are going to see them play and be like, holy shit, this is like amazing.
Yeah. I mean, of the bands on this list, and actually let me just share it real quick so people who are watching on YouTube can see the flyer and the band list. I'll throw it up here on gallery view, maybe, if I can see it. So, well, anyways, everybody can see now the bill for this year. So of the bands that I know, there are definitely bands that are going to blow people away, even if they have never heard of them or had any idea. Like when we saw Dreadnought at Psycho, and then the drummer's like, "Hey, let me get my saxophone out and play saxophone while I play drums," and we were like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is going on here?" Like that's an instant memory right there. And there are enough other bands. If we had gotten to you sooner, like a band that I think would totally fit on this bill that you could totally get to come would be a band like Pound.
God.
And
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've ever
Like
listened
who?
to Pound. Is a 2-piece out of Seattle. That
math grindcore,
2-piece, 10-string guitar, and a drummer who plays 2 drum sets at the same time.
All right.
It's incomprehensible when you listen to it. It doesn't make any sense at all, but it's so compelling live, and people would go like, "What the fuck am I about to see?" And then they would finish, and they would go, "What did I just see? I have no idea what that was."
I love that feeling. Like when we were young, like I had that feeling a lot. I remember seeing a band from Salt Lake. So I lived in like Cache Valley when I was in high school. So to me, Salt Lake was like, there's like
big
stuff
city
going on there. And like, these bands are crazy. And I saw Agape play somewhere in Idaho. And they were just this like grind band with like a drum machine, a keyboard, and a bass. And just hearing that type of music for the first time really was just like entranced in it, and just like, I don't know what this is, but this is awesome because it's so far out of the box of what I know that it's just like, compelling.
Completely.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, the first time I ever saw Mr. Bungle was because they were opening for somebody else that was much more popular at a venue here, and like I went to see the more popular band. I was, 15 or 14. I didn't even know what a Mr. Bungle was. And then I saw them and my life was forever changed.
Yeah.
It was like rearranged the function of my brain in one night, even though I
Completely.
wasn't even there to see them. And that's like an experience I've tried to recreate over and over again, and is what forces me to never go to big arenas unless I have to for whatever reason, and to just keep going to, even when we weren't putting on shows, to always just go to underground shows, even if I didn't know who the bands were or what they were. If there was some way in that I could sort of know that maybe they were going to be good, I was up for it. So here's a question, and this is another kind of inside baseball thing that people who don't put on fest don't think about is, I see a few bands here that are coming off of Psycho. How important was it for you to be able to draft off of, because when you're booking a festival, one of the really important things is to catch bands that are already on the road, for a variety of reasons, including that they don't ask for as much money if they're playing a bunch of shows in a row.
No flyouts.
No flyouts. How did you get connected with? I mean, I see the connective tissue possibly, but how did you get connected with the Blackwater Holylight and a Hippie Death Cult and other bands?
So the fact that it's the weekend after Psycho this year is just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Had I thought about it, it would be a good idea anyways.
So just say you did.
Yeah, I didn't, but I do it again next year. I don't know. I like, so the thing is, it's a city away, but it's a weekend. It's a week away.
Yeah.
So like for a band to like book a tour from Las Vegas to Salt Lake in a week isn't really a thing. So Hippie Death Cult just happens to work because they're gonna do some contortionist routing to make a tour work like that. But everyone else is like going home and coming back. So
nice.
I mean, I had the thought the other day, I was like, what if I just like, I don't think I would do this, but like, what if I just booked it the same weekend as Psycho, and then like I could just get all of those bands
but it's free.
Oh no, but
I mean, how many people from Salt Lake are really going to Psycho? Maybe 40, like maximum, but it's probably like 20. So
you'll get on Evan's shit list for sure if you do that. And
I'm sure I would.
I'm surprised he doesn't block out Utah. He radiuses California for all of Psycho, unless you're unless you're a pet.
No one's coming from California to
Yeah.
CrucialFest. He doesn't care. Like
yeah,
that's
good.
Thing.
that's good. That because when people are reasonable
Yeah.
like that, that's good. It's not always expected, but it's good to see.
Right. Yeah. No, but I won't do that. In fact, I almost put it back to into June this year, and I reserve the right to switch it to any weekend. And if it happens
good
to
for
be
you.
around Psycho, I mean, for this year, like it didn't really. I mean, Hippie Death Cult, Blackwater Holylight. I mean, they're going back home and then coming back.
Yeah.
Hippie Death
Oh,
Cult,
Blackwater's going home and coming back.
yeah.
Which mountain are they? I didn't even know. Are they playing at
It's
Psycho or is
like their first show in
I have no
forever?
idea.
Yeah, they haven't played in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
I'm super
I
stoked about that.
haven't seen that.
And then the other thing is like, I don't know, like CrucialFest didn't start off like it started before Psycho. It wasn't trying to be a baby Psycho, and like I'm not trying to be a baby Psycho either. And so,
oh no, totally.
I mean, but like it's kind of what it looks like, you know. I think if someone were to just look at both these festivals and be like, oh, the bands that are tiny in this one are the ones that are big in this one.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, there is some crossover, and I do some doom and some metal, and probably a little bit more now, even because of them and the whole kind of like thing that they have going on there and that like movement in music. But I also do like a bunch of other stuff too.
Well, how do you put together, like when you think about assembling all the bands, like what's going through your head? You know,
well, I'll be like, hey, let me hit up Nathan Carson and see what he's got.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Of his bands. And then let's reach out to a couple other agents I've worked with and see what's on the docket. But it's like, I've done like the whole fly-in ground support, backline, hotels, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's no way for me to ever possibly make enough money to pay for that for a band ever.
Yeah.
Unless I had a sponsor that was like giving me $50,000 a year and then I could just take care of all that and that'd be great. But that's not how it works in Salt Lake at the moment. So I'm not really trying to fly bands in anymore.
Yeah.
If they want to take the budget that I gave them and they decide that that's what they want to do and they want to take care of all their accommodations and I'm just paying them a flat amount, go ahead and do whatever you want. But CrucialFest originated as a thing that really is trying to encourage bands and vans to like move around. And so it's always had the smaller touring bands coming down in a van from Denver, from Portland, from parts of California, sometimes, a couple from Boise or whatever. They come down in their vans, they meet the bands here. And then my idea is that the bands here now have contacts to book their own tour and do a little loop around the West Coast. And so it's really more about doing a regional thing. So like this year, we don't have anyone we have a lot of Portland bands, a Denver band, 2 California bands, a Boise band, and the rest are from Salt Lake. And there's like 8 from Portland. So it's also really more of a regional thing. And it's like kind of about like overcoming that distance and like, because that's what Utah's on an island and that's something we have to deal with here. And for bands to tour, it's hard to get the mileage to get out. It's not like California where you have, 5 stops in a 5-hour radius or whatever. It's not like the East Coast where you have major cities that are like 4 of them within 5 hours, It's the opposite of that. So I really think going forward, it's going to be more about focusing on regional bands, up and coming bands that I think like have something special, and then always Salt Lake bands. It's always going to be 2/3 Salt Lake City bands. And Psycho, I don't know, it's not like a Vegas thing. That's a whole
exactly.
Oh God,
Vegas locals.
Please no 2/3 Vegas bands. I've attempted to recruit local support in Vegas. It's not that easy.
But yeah, at least half. Like I'll always have CrucialFest be at least half bands from Salt Lake because it's more about that than anything else. Yeah. And the other part is just kind of like fun and people meeting each other and I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna throw this at you because this just came across my desk today, and I didn't even realize it at the time. But you have a competition on that weekend, and I mean, generally speaking, competition in
Utah Arts Festival or
No,
whatever?
the
No.
Hard Scrabble Music Festival just came across my desk in Helper, Utah.
What the hell is that?
in the here, I'll share my screen so you can see. So I know about it because I'm friends with the guys in a band called Glitter Wizard.
Why are Glitter
Is that a
Wizard
Salt Lake
playing
band?
this?
No, they're a San Francisco band. So it's not really competition from a genre.
I mean, it's not really. We're
From
joking,
a genre
but
standpoint,
Yeah.
and it's. I mean, I've never heard of Helper, Utah, but I looked it up. It's a train stop.
I've
Apparently,
heard of it.
apparently you can.
Hard Scrabble, so it's not hardcore.
No,
Oh,
it's
no,
not.
no.
It's just another. It's just
It's
another.
like alt country or something.
It's probably a lot of indie. I mean,
Hell's Bells is an AC/DC cover band.
yeah, and Glitter Wizard is like kind of like a
Flaming Groovies, I recognize.
yeah.
Are these Utah bands? I've never heard of any.
I don't know. I don't know
Utah
anything
County
about.
Swillers are from
No,
Utah.
that's
I'm
weird.
guessing.
Huh.
It's like this little tiny town that's a train stop. Apparently,
Good for them. No, that's fine. I don't think anyone from Helper's coming anyways. So
Yeah, there's nobody from Helper coming.
There's no one from Helper.
If you're in Helper, this is the place to be.
Yeah, seriously.
Do you guys even know what Helper is?
I've heard of it,
I've
but
heard
I
of
didn't
it.
know where it was until I just looked it up. It's just north
What
of
is it?
Price.
Outside of town in Utah County, like on the outskirts or something?
Yeah, it's outside of Price.
Yeah, that's
It's like it's like southeast of Spanish Fork.
yeah.
One of the guys in Glitter Wizard is the primary booker for a venue in San Francisco called the Parkside that you're probably familiar with. Suspect you've maybe played there once or twice, and he's connected to a lot of people. But I was curious to kind of hear the origins of this whole thing.
I have no idea. So there is also the Utah Arts Festival
What's the same weekend?
is going on. Yeah, the same weekend.
Could be
You
a good thing though.
can't throw a dead cat in this town without there being some major events like
Yeah.
going on somewhere. Like in the summertime, like there's no free weekends. It's either
Yeah.
that
Oh, no.
or Craft Lake City, or I mean, in June it was always like right next to Pride stuff, and like there's so many things that go on, but like none of them, like CrucialFest is like about a certain community, and it's like
Yeah, for sure.
For
those
sure.
people either aren't going to the Utah Arts Festival or they are and they're coming here afterwards. And like it's kind of like an after party in a way. Like it happens towards the after and towards the end of the Utah Arts Festival. But Utah Arts is just kind of like more of like a general population thing, and we might go bomb it with some flyers or something and try
Especially
to
if
get
you're
Yeah,
especially if you're free. I mean,
it's free.
exactly.
that makes it interesting.
No reason not to.
All right, so we need to listen to music, but before we do that, I came across one other thing when I was flipping through the CrucialFest Facebook page.
Okay, what we got?
I really hope you have an answer for me. So this is this is the banner photo.
That's the
Yeah.
Loom reunion, right?
That looks like
Yeah.
a Loom reunion.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna zoom over here, and I gotta know about this guy, Captain Thumbs in the orange shirt. Do you have any idea? And if not, can you track him down?
No, I totally know him. He is a friend from, God, what the fuck is his name? He's from Idaho, and he's been in like really cool bands up there that Loom has played with. Why am I drawing a blank on this man's name?
Kind of looks like the Capitol Shaman before he got his horns.
Oh, yes.
I'm so embarrassed that I can't remember his name. It's gonna come.
Sorry.
Tell him.
to
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
It'll
this
come
was
to
the
you.
last time I saw him.
Which
It's
one
gonna
was
come to
this?
He's a really great musician. We've played a bunch of shows with him. Worst Friends has played shows with bands that he's been in. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me.
It'll come to you. No, the legendary moment for me was trying to recall the name of the guitarist for Revocation, and I knew his first name was Dave, and I could not pull his last name, which is of course Davidson.
Davidson.
It's like he's got like a really memorable name too. That's like
I would hope so.
Dave
he looks
Davidson.
That guy looks incredible. I want him at every show.
I want to be friends with that guy.
God damn it, he's gonna think we're not friends because I can't think of his name.
You'll remember it.
Totally are.
All right, so
It's COVID brain fog.
So we didn't explain exactly what we were going to do to listeners, but what we're actually going to do this time around is a speed round listen of
Okay.
as many of the bands as we think we can get through until we fall asleep or can't talk about it anymore or just run out of energy.
We're gonna do it. No, we're gonna make this happen.
Okay.
We can do it. So
All
we're
right,
gonna
all
do.
right.
I think we're gonna do.
So who's first?
Hold on. So what?
Are you guys
what
gonna
we're
use
gonna
the
do?
Spotify playlist?
Yes, I'm using the Spotify playlist. However,
Okay.
I feel like we should start maybe from the bottom and work our way up.
Whatever.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know how the playlist. I don't use Spotify, so I don't know how the playlist. Or is it alphabetical? Is it in order of
It's
when
just
they were added?
It's in the order of when they were added.
Oh, yeah, whatever you.
I mean, if you guys want to, if we're gonna be able to listen to all of them, and
I
you
think
guys
we
will give
can.
me your input on what you think and stuff, like some of these, like I don't necessarily like know a lot of bands I can compare them to, but I can talk about
That's
their
fine.
sound for sure.
Tell us where they're from.
Okay.
Why you put them on the show.
Okay.
And maybe just like what is their style? What do they sound like? And then we'll listen to like 30 seconds. We'll jump like mid song, no intros.
No intros.
Intros take too long. We'll jump like mid song. And we'll do like 30 seconds of each band.
Yeah, a bunch of bands on it. Some bands, at least on this bill, that are going to have some 2-minute intros that we gotta make sure to.
Exactly.
We have learned a lot about the sort of like the how songwriters' brains work in heavy music, and like in many genres of heavy music, bands just think the first minute doesn't matter. You know, it's like do whatever you want for a minute and then start the song over and over again at the 1 minute mark. We're like, okay, now it's actually going to start. Sweet.
Yep, the 1 minute intro.
All right. So who's first?
Okay, so why don't we do this? So, okay, Jarom, the band Last.
The band Last. So we're just gonna hop around, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, on mine they're right on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it just depends on how you like sort or filter
It probably is
the playlist.
Okay. Let's do this then. I want to make sure we do it. Do you want to start at the top?
We can do Last. I'm gonna be bad at this, you guys. So like, I might need your help. I might need you to listen to the song with me.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's listen to it first.
Because
Okay,
you guys might have some ideas of bands that you think they sound like that I don't like know of or won't think of.
Oh, yeah, let's listen to them first
let's do
before
it.
we talk about what
Okay, so this is the band Last, and the song is called Attempt. And I'm gonna start it and then jump to the middle.
What the fuck?
It's like dungeon synth.
I love it.
I'm gonna scoot forward a little bit.
More of that. That's like at Psycho. That's the band that goes on the vinyl stage at 2 a.m.
Yeah. So Last.
That was cool.
That was super cool.
So Lasts are it's a 2-piece drums, and then I guess it's drum/drum machine, and then like keys and vocals. It's just a 2-piece. I haven't seen them live yet. They haven't played live yet. This is going to be their first show. So
Oh wow.
I hope they're wearing
I
cloaks.
don't know their exact setup, but a good friend of mine, Chase Clough, is the keyboardist and singer, and he's played in a lot of bands that have played CrucialFest throughout the years. Two-Headed Whale is one of the more recent ones. Oh God, I'm gonna be so bad at this.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I have bands that I can think of, but I can't remember.
And really,
everyone.
You don't even need to say what they're like.
But anyways, he's actually like a super talented drummer, and really good friend of mine. And Lass is just sort of like, they're the only band like this on the bill per se. Like there's like a really kind of like a cool spectrum of bands. Like I almost want to make a chart that has on the left side like groove, so it's got like bluesy side, and then like punk and technical and grind, and like just gets more. And then another one is like easier to listen to, and then more like abrasive and whatever. And they're like
challenging.
they're just like all the way abrasive.
They're on that end of the spectrum.
On that end. But like, it's a really cool expression of like the bleak part of being alive, which I really like. And like, just from knowing Chase personally and the stuff that he likes, like, I feel like they encapsulate an emotion that's like important for humans to remember and experience in like that sort of a way. I've always felt like sometimes, you know, when you listen to a band that's just like pedal to the metal, like trying to like express meaninglessness and nihilism and or like pain or whatever, that you can like see that kind of a thing and come away from it and like feel like a load off your chest, or like feel
it's cathartic.
like better. And so I like the emotion that they bring to the table, and that's why I booked them.
Nice.
Sick.
Nice.
All
Awesome.
Right. Who's next?
Okay, Magda Vega. Let's do this. Black Hole is the song.
I need your energy, baby. Shine your light for me. I am the black hole, baby. There's no escaping me. I'm so heavy, so heavy, so heavy. I crush your soul.
Totally different.
Yeah.
It's like some just bluesy, soulful rock and roll.
Yeah, I don't even know if I call it bluesy or what, but it reminds me of like Iggy Pop meets like Courtney Love, or something, with like a big old like fuzzy ass in the tone like department, with like just like some thick texture.
Yeah. Are they Salt Lake?
They're Salt Lake, and Last was Salt Lake as well. But yeah, they have a lot of good energy, and they're people that have been around in the music scene for a really long time. So I booked them because I really like to have a decent representation of that, like more straightforward rock and roll,
garagey,
bass.
Okay,
nice.
Really quick sidebar, because I just tried to find their band page on Facebook and didn't find it right away. But I would like to introduce you to
Magda Vega.
Magda Vega on Facebook.
Hi, Magda.
Hello, Magda. It's great to meet you.
Oh, they're gonna love that.
Funny. All right, next is the Penitent Man.
Only the Penitent Man will pass.
Oh, what is that?
It's from Indiana Jones.
Oh, it is.
And the Last Crusade.
Oh,
it's like when he's solving the riddles, trying to figure out if he can get to the cup. Yeah.
And then,
like, you have to kneel
like
so that
doesn't slice his head off or whatever.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, okay.
I just hear Harrison Ford going, "Only the Penitent Man will pass. Only the Penitent Man will." He's like repeating it to himself until he figures it out.
Well, let's see if these guys sound like Harrison Ford.
Okay, that would be rad, actually.
See, to me, that right there is something that, like, if somebody that was leaving the arts festival stumbled past the bar and heard that coming, they'd be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, I'm going in.
I'll go check that
That's
out.
free. I'm going to go check that out."
Anyone can, like, all three of us instantly start bobbing our heads when that's
Yeah.
anyone can handle that. And it's, you know, it's got the, like, kind of vocals that anyone can get into.
Yeah.
But it just has, like, that desert rock kind of feel to me that, you know, is, like,
The kind of
rooted in the whole Queens of the Stone Age type of thing, but you know, it's got the guitar tone can be a little more like the early Red Fang or whatever. They're actually on a label called Desert Records out of
Oh, they have Desert Records?
We know
Oh,
Desert.
nice.
We know Desert Records.
and they're doing really cool things too. So
That does not surprise me.
Chris Garrido was in Huldra and has played CrucialFest before. So they're Salt Lake.
They're Salt Lake.
So
also.
they're Salt Lake also?
Most Salt Lake bands have been in other like
Bands.
Yeah.
members have been in other bands that have played CrucialFest, and it's a lot of like the same people over and over.
Yeah.
Like
just
There's
reshuffling.
only so many people.
that's just kind of like how it organically happens.
Nice.
All right, what's next?
Okay, the next one is Death Blow. Song is Nefarious Ends.
The scores of fate. Preemptive death. Gross violence. Nefarious. Bred from the cesspool of depravity. Life is cheap when they're crossed. Parasitic sadism to retain
That's cool.
So
Nice.
there's a really cool like metal scene here, like in that particular kind of like I'm so bad with metal. It's like, to me, it's like speed metal. It's got a little bit of Satan in there, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
like-
like what I
yeah.
like about it is that it's high energy. A lot of it's fast. A lot of it like has kind of a punk feel to it in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely that kind of crossover, early punk metal.
Yeah, which I really like that, and like I'm glad someone else called it punk metal too, so I'm not alone in that.
No,
stupid
definitely not
but-
alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
no,
like-
there's a few bands that we booked this year that are like that flavor of metal. Well, I guess 3 kind of. There's Bewitcher and then Necrowolf, and Deathblow and Necrowolf are like the local bands that I chose this year in the metal department, because I just wanted like that higher energy, and like, we have some bands that are doing like the bleakness thing, like Last, but I just kind of like, I wanted like the kind of party metal vibe, I guess.
Hell yeah! I mean, that like whacked out Mars Attacks album
That was
cover
cool art.
wins alone. That's the only thing I needed to see. I'm on board.
That's amazing.
Well, it's like the metal bands who love Motorhead, right? It's like
Right. So Motorhead's like the only metal band I can like, or like the only band I can like compare any of these to. 'Cause, like, that's how.
Well, they were all influenced.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be wrong.
no.
It's true. So what was the band that we found that we fucking fell in love with, and we couldn't figure out who they were, and come to find out it was like a guitar maker in Salt Lake, and it was like a thrash band.
Oh, Toxic Dose.
Was it Toxic Dose? Yeah,
Oh.
Toxic Dose.
Are you talking about Cult Leader with Mike Mason, who does Mason
Oh,
guitar?
Were they
Yeah, no.
they Salt Lake though?
Cult
Toxic
Leader?
Dose?
Salt Lake.
No, Toxic Dose was Salt Lake.
Oh, they were.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. No, yeah. Cult Leader we saw at Psycho as well. I saw what's his name, the bass player, go head over. He tripped and went head over, like did a complete flip on the stage,
Oh, shit.
bounced
So
right
that's
back
Sam.
up and just kept
It's,
on playing. Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, one of his old punk bands is reuniting for this CrucialFest. They're called Reviver.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I didn't know Sam was in Reviver. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
here's Toxic Dose from Salt Lake City. They're not they're not on Crucial Fest, but we loved them.
Maybe
And they were
next
just
time.
but they're like definitely some shreddy. Oh, my
doesn't
computer's
play
not
on
plugged in.
yours.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Toxic Dose was cool though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
who's-
go to the next band. We have Necrowolf next, and we just mentioned them.
All right.
Okay,
So
this
we're
is
gonna
like
listen to-
same kind of a feel.
Nice. Ritualistic Slaughter.
They went to the same chug school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's perfect because like the punks will like it, the metalheads will,
People who
everybody
don't
can
even
have.
like metal will like that. I
I mean,
think.
Yeah.
who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
it's fun. Like, it's high energy. Like, I want, like, there's so many doom bands around now that like, I don't just want everyone to go to sleep. Like,
Yeah.
between headbangs,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it can get to be like that. And like,
want some
yeah,
snap
and I like that type of music as well. But like, back to back and too much of it is not my.
Is
thing.
rough.
Mhm.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we were at Psycho the year that they did a special pre-show that was Yob and Sub Rosa, right?
Mhm.
Great show. After Yob was done, I was like, I'm good. I don't need like if there was if Neurosis was next, I don't know if I could have like even though I love Neurosis, I think I was all out of that emotion, that energy
No, I
after
mean-
3 hours of
Yob is
that.
Yeah.
that kind of a band too, where like they'll give you everything you want to get out of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
An absolute like psycho genius, on guitar, and then just like good, unique, like driving stuff, and then just backing off and slowing it way down. Yeah, Yob's amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that'll be
Okay.
fun, and I'm sure you won't put those two bands back to back, right? You kind of sprinkle them
Yeah.
throughout the lineup.
No,
so
I
that-
mean, one of the nights there's like a lot of bands. So it's the show's centered around the Otolith, which is they were formerly Cerbrosa, and this is
Yes.
their
Right.
new band. And Witch Mountain's headlining that show, and the show sort of built around them. So it kind of naturally came together to have some bands that are kind of like them, that are like some of their friends from out of town, like Dreadnought and Witch Mountain. So that shows probably the like most cohesive in terms of genre.
What night is that one?
That's the Friday night on the 27th. The 26th is like local reunions, Reviver, Eons, and then like some party metal, like speed metal bands. And then the Friday is the like kind of doomy female fronted bands, and then Saturday is like Iceburn's local record release show, and a bunch of like hardcore bands and like some experimental stuff. And then the last day is a bunch of like Portland extraordinaire bands, Gaytheists, Shelter Red, Ills.
Oh, nice. That's on Sunday?
Sunday. Yeah.
See, you booked this the same weekend as my oldest daughter's birthday.
Oh.
So I'm like, yeah.
Damn you.
Okay, so this next band is Moon Wizard. Moon Wizard. Are we going to get into the psychedelic now? Let's see.
We're going a direction.
A direction. So they're playing the same night as Witch Mountain, and
right. So this band, so Black Harbor Strings is a company that supports CrucialFest, and so I looked at some of their bands to see like what local ones we should book and where, and heard this one. Was like, oh yeah, this would be great to open for Witch Mountain. So the singer actually doesn't sing for the band anymore, but she's flying in for this.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow,
to play this.
No, nice.
But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I need to hit up those Black Harbor folks and see if I can get a string deal. I played with Sixes, and they're another Black Harbor. They're an LA band. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but a couple of Black Harbor artists.
I heard they're not. Like somebody passed away in that band or something.
Yes, yeah, somebody did. The drummer, I believe. Okay. No, one of the guitar players. Who you
like
met
the
them,
main
right?
guy?
No, the guy who's like from Sweden. He was like,
okay.
Is the European dude in the band.
I don't think I even realized there was a second guitar player.
All there was amps, dude. We put on that show at a tiny little bar in Sunnyvale, and they rolled in 8,000 pounds of amplifiers with with the confidence.
Bands like that are always like, I don't give a fuck if this is a 5x5 office. We're putting all of our shit.
We're putting all of it
with the confidence of peak sleep, just rolling in every amp known to man. It was impressive, actually.
Oh man. Okay, next band, Violent Temper.
All right.
Violet Temper, not Violet. Sorry, Violet Temper. Jesus. Violet Temper. Okay.
But we'll be underwater. We'll be underwater.
It's kind of cool. What night are they playing?
They're playing the same night as Witch Mountain and the Otolith on the Friday night.
Salt Lake?
Yes.
Yep, Salt Lake. It's Lindsay Heath and Cash Tolman. Cash Tolman also plays in Dunn.
Oh, there's Cash.
Yeah.
I see him.
And then Lindsay Heath is also like a local legend that has just had her own band of her name, and then just is in tons of bands all the time. Always has been. Really great musician and great people. Those two as well. Just the two.
They are just singing and playing drums by the sound of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's rad. Yeah, it's funny.
Nice.
The last festival we threw in September of 2019, Dunn played.
Yeah.
Hippie Death Cult played.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was any other overlap in the in the bill, but that was
funny.
That was a really fun show. And I don't know, are you backlining? Or are people bringing their own shit?
I think a little. I think so. I'm still working on advancing, but I'm having a meeting with the production at Metro, and then basically go through and try to do as much sharing of gear as possible, especially with all the locals. Backline the headliners, and then like we can't backline all of it. I'm just not a believer, and I don't backline drums, and I don't like to backline too much stuff. So it's going to be share gear as much as possible. And then I'm also going to have some loaders that are just helping people like hustle their shit on and off.
That's cool.
First few bands will probably just come straight from outside, set up on and go off, and we'll just have someone there making sure everyone's fucking drums are like totally set up, and we'll have 20-minute transitions, which I think we'll be able to pull off with the help that we have. So
yeah, that's good. You'll have some trouble. So Hippie Death Cult played on the same stage right after Done, and you're a drummer, so you'll understand. Dude's got a full Neil Peart kit with a full-size gong, and Andy finished clearing off all his gear, and they were setting up their drums. And who was Andy standing next to? Another drummer, I think. And he goes, "That guy's clearly never toured before."
They'll be on the like the last leg of a tour, so maybe the drum set will have shrunk. But
he appears to be fully committed to all 8 toms and the gong. So
he plays them all. Yeah,
we will see. If you
we'll
want
reserve the spot right next to the stage for him to set his drums up. Then
yes, get ready.
Have you seen the video? They played a record release show out in front of the Portland Cement Factory. And filmed it, and people just showed up on the street and watched it, and they got some really cool photos and footage if you're looking for promo for them.
Absolutely.
There's some cool video floating around from that show.
Nice.
The place they played?
I think it's like the Portland Cement Factory, but they have this big patio. There's a freeway right there, and people were like standing up on the freeway and down on the street below. They were kind of up high in the air.
Awesome.
It was pretty neat.
It was like Where the Streets Have No Name Part 2.
Yeah, something like that.
We're still going from the bottom up. I think we should start from the top down at this point.
You want to? Okay, let's do it.
So I think I want to make sure those ones are covered.
Totally. Let's listen to Witch Mountain then. We'll start with Witch Mountain.
I've never heard
these
them.
guys. Now, who's in this band? Okay, so let's listen to Midnight. Okay.
Don't you know you ain't my problem? You did this to yourself. You created this hell. The more I care for you, the faster you bleed. You pray to your God so he can give you what you need. Don't you know there ain't nobody up there?
Yes, just pretty classic Doom stuff. I like watching
great.
Witch Mountain because I deal with Nathan so much for everything else that I forget he's a drummer. So then when they're playing and you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's right, he plays drums, doesn't he? It's like so out of context because I'm used to all the other shit that he does.
I do feel like that sound is like classic, that particular sound, largely because of Witch Mountain. I think there's very few bands that do that exactly right. And like a band like Moon Wizard, for instance, that's a local band. You know, they're obviously like heavily influenced by Witch Mountain. I think Witch Mountain is a very influential band, and they like their tone you can't fuck with. I just even listening to that, like you can sense the deepness of the and the richness of the tone. And then I don't know any vocalists out there that can really fuck with that.
Kayla's
a great singer.
I mean, they had big shoes to fill when Uda left. And we know Kayla just because she's in a couple of bands, and including a Bay Area band singing Dress the Dead.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Singing for Craig LaCicera, who was in Forbidden. It's like his current band, and that's a different kind of music that uses a different version of her voice. But yeah, man, she can fucking sing. We were at Bottom of the Hill when she was warming up and backstage, and it was just like fuck.
Yeah, and the stage show is great too. Like she doesn't just stand up there and sing. Like she works the stage.
She's a prowler.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Definitely a show people should see. Yeah, exactly.
No one likes the standard that just that doesn't have an instrument to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So Shelter Red. Should I do Eyes on the Floor or Man Is Not an Animal?
Do Eyes on the Floor.
Okay. Shelter Red.
Oh yeah.
Give me just another second.
I kind of don't want to stop it.
No, I don't.
It's
I really like this.
they're making us wait for it like they do, but
Oh, should we keep going? I'm fine to keep going for a minute.
maybe
Let's
you
just-
should.
Let's just keep going for a minute.
Holy shit.
All right.
Are they instrumental?
Yeah, they're instrumental.
They're
And like
instrumental.
from this song alone, like I love this song for reasons other than how crazy they can be. Like that song, I like how it's put together. I like the anticipation. I like the but they are like some of the most shreddingly like in the like post-hardcore or hardcore like mathy melodic field or whatever. They're just crazy. Like they're
Yeah.
really good.
Well, and
just watch Noodly thing. It's like you're watching Dragon Force play like melodic hardcore.
exactly. Usually the bands that play music like that don't flex those kind of lead and melodic chops. They like, I don't know if it's lack of them or just like it's not cool, and that's like not cool, a cool part of
With
the
Shelter
genre.
Red, they just save it for the right moments. You know?
Moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah. Well,
that was
it's
rad.
not often when a band gets a holy shit from you. What were you holy shitting?
No, it's just, all
so
all
good.
of it.
Yeah.
There were just some really interesting choices. The bass player was making really interesting choices, doing some weird shit either with picking in slides or effects on those kind of like trailing delays that he was doing. I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on in a good way.
Yeah.
No, that was really cool.
Yeah. I think we just discovered a band we're going to dig into.
Well, it's
Yeah,
it's
listen to that
it's
other
like-
song and check them out for sure.
it's like Scale the Summit crashed into some kind of like noise band or something.
Yeah, it
It was-
reminds me of like Helms Ali or Shiner or something like that.
yeah, a little cleaner,
vocals and-
which I
Yeah.
appreciated.
It's
you know.
really good. I like it a
Yeah.
lot.
All right.
Damn.
Shelter
All right.
Red. You said they're from Portland?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're Portland?
On my radar.
Nice. All right. Okay, Bewitcher is the next band. So Bewitcher will jump into Death Returns. I like that.
So like,
cool.
I feel like someone that is just like listening up to this point is gonna think that like CrucialFest is like all of this like party metal, but
Yeah. Because we started at the bottom. Yeah.
yeah, Bewitcher is the headliner of the threesome of those Deathblow, Necro Wolf, and Bewitcher.
Nice.
And those three bands are playing together just to try to have enough there that the people that are into that kind of music
Will show up.
reason
Yeah.
to come and a reason to stay. So
Yeah.
Bewitcher's from Portland, and they're like they're the headliner band of those three. I really like what Bewitcher's doing. Again, I would just like throw out Motorhead and like it's more like blackened and satanic or
Yeah.
whatever. But in like a cool way. Like I like the vocals are just like full throttle, like crustiness, like witchy, like
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
completely.
it's like a
Bells.
whiskey soaked witch.
There you
Yeah.
Well, and like
The
when,
Whiskey Witch.
and like you respond to that stuff because the chord progressions and the song structures are really like classic, rock.
Yeah.
not classic rock,
belting
but
it out,
like
singing over
50s
that.
rock.
Yeah.
And then into what Motorhead did to that, and then
Mm-hmm.
into what punk and metal did in the. But it's real simple stuff. There's and it's like happy chords. It's not a lot of like sad, sad lonely music. It's like,
Right.
but
And they,
still,
I mean, they go all over the spectrum for sure. But I really like the vocals and how they're just like, we don't give a fuck like how
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
supposed to sound with this
Yeah.
music off the bat. Like we're also saying something with this music. I really like the vocals. I feel like
I think they're cool. Yeah. And they go with the music.
well,
perfectly.
that's one of the bands I've listened to out of this list about
yeah?
a bunch. So
Oh, nice.
I definitely know Bewitcher.
Nice.
They're fun.
Right. Well, I think you've also heard this next one. So Blackwater Holylight.
I have vaguely heard of
Are
them.
they a Ripple band?
No.
They're not Ripple?
I mean, no.
Thought they were.
I said that in a semi-dismissive way. They're not a Ripple band. They sign. I forget who they signed to, but they're definitely like hard on the road, tour support label.
Huh.
Like they're. I think Nathan books them, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah. All
they're
right.
on Heavy Psych or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, let's do this. So Blackwater Holylight, the song is Sunrise. I'm going to scoot it forward. You got that like trance like repeating pattern. It's like very psychedelic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that passage is exactly a good like example of what they sound like overall.
It's,
Oh, yeah?
it's a perfect example of what they sound like half the time.
Yeah, about half the time.
There's another half. So they like really walk a unique line between heavy doomier riffs and like straight psych like that. You would that sounds like the Black Angels or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
There are other parts, but the thing that they do really well is they transition in and out of those styles almost the way, to me, it reminds me of like an early or like a late 90s emo band that's like, we're a soft band, just like you have the chorus also is just blasting, and then it's like, oh, we're sad again.
Is
In
the
a way,
other
I just
song?
have the contrast, I guess. But I really like psych music, and
I
Yeah.
love it.
there's not
Yeah.
enough of it on Crucial Fest. There's not enough of it around here.
In the
All the
world.
good
Yeah.
stuff costs too much to bring it in. But
Yeah.
I really like the OCs, and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, I think, is like maybe like the best fucking band ever.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've heard that before.
I mean, I've been down that rabbit hole all. I mean, I listened to them before, but I went deep, and you have to go deep because they're 8
Well, you
billion
give it 3
records.
months and you can go deep again because they'll have 3 more albums.
3 more records. Yeah.
They put out like 5 records a year. Like they
Yeah.
just live in the studio, I guess. Like they have to.
I love
That's
that.
crazy.
I love the ethos of the band too. Like we're putting out one of their DIY, one of their like, here's a bunch of stuff. They just opened up a bunch of releases and said,
Public
anyone
domain thing.
wants to put them out. Just give us a couple copies. So we're putting out a copy of Teenage Gizzard, which is like their very very early stuff.
Really?
On vinyl. Yeah, they opened up like 10 live show recordings and a bunch of other material and said any
That's
label.
so unique. Like just to have a band that's like they tour and stuff too, which I don't even understand how they do it, but they're just like, we are gonna write as many records as we can. Each one's gonna have its complete unique identity,
Yep.
which no other band does, while still maintaining like their style. You can tell it's King Gizzard, even though it'll be one of 30 different genres.
Yep.
And the
Yeah.
whole record will be cohesive every time. Jesus. And then like
Jesus.
that's
Yeah.
like the best 60s Britpop psych band is from now. And anyways,
Yeah.
and they put out a thrash record that wasn't just a passable thrash record, but
Yeah,
that
so
actually
legitimately-
appealed to real thrash fans.
Yeah.
To their own dismay. They didn't want to like it, but they're like, but it's fucking good. So
Yeah.
there we go.
I like
Yeah, no.
it, and I think that they were lucky that they did. Like every album has its own unique thing because they never got sort of pigeonholed into like where Mastodon, like from Remission to now, now people are like, fuck,
They're mad if
I
they-
just wish they would remake Remission 18 times.
Yeah, or
But
Leviathan.
nobody ever says that about King Gizzard.
Yeah.
I wish they would remake the first album.
And,
Like-
and mostly
Because
would they?
everyone- we're just too like anxious to see what they do next. Like,
Well, yeah, what's next?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
would they even care? Honestly, I think that's the key to it. Is they don't seem like they care.
No, I don't think they would.
even slightly at all. They're just
Yeah.
having fucking fun, having a good time.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a really
exactly.
that's a unique thing.
He's
But
Stu's a dream guest. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
So,
and then not that Blackwater Holylight is like that band at all, but I still like it. It still reminds me of that feel where it's like it's repeating something long enough. It's almost like electronic trance music in a way that it and it's like Doom also, where it's just it gets you in a trance and then it like builds you out of it or takes you to some other place and just feels like a
Exactly.
journey. But
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And that's what I love about psychedelic music.
Yeah, and they're on Riding Easy.
Oh, yeah, Riding Easy.
Which
Oh,
actually
wow.
makes a lot of sense because he likes to like the bands on Riding Easy. They're probably kind of like cool and young and appealing to more than just like us crusty old ex-metal dudes or whoever. The like a lot of their bands I could see playing a Coachella, a bigger festival that covers a lot more than just the kind of music they put out.
Oh, completely.
It's got like a little bit of an it factor to it. I don't know. He's good at identifying those kinds of bands.
All right. Next band.
Yes.
One I've never heard of. Iceburn?
Oh.
Is that the no?
record though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip because
How do you pick 30 seconds?
I know that this song has like a 2-minute long intro.
Go like 3 minutes in.
Yeah. I think I'll go like 3 minutes in. Okay, let's get there. And this song goes everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like a free jazz section at about 8 minutes in. Like,
Really good. That's a really good intro. The rhythm and then the way that the guitar plays off of it when it starts yelling at you.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's Iceburn, but is it? It's like
yeah.
it's a new.
Oh, it totally is. And that's what I hear. I can hear like Eagle Twin sounds
100%.
in this album
Like
for
some
sure.
of the best parts of Eagle Twin.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
but Tyler's not there. It's straightforward drumming that's accenting some of the weird shit that's going on, but it's got that punchy, drivey thing that's still Iceburn.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah, weird guitar harmonies, weird vocal harmonies. I'm really glad that Southern Lord is going to re-release the whole catalog and that Andy gets the time and opportunity to go back and he told us all about the shit that he's fixing that's bothered him for over 20 years in Hephaestus. So I'm stoked to hear.
I like Iceburn. I'm an Iceburn fan, but the new record to me is like by far my favorite thing. Just because of my personal tastes, but.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I still listen to Fire On. I mean, and I can't wait to hear that thing remixed and remastered. Okay, so speaking of Andy, the Otolith is next. So this song is Bone Dust, and apparently the Otolith is not complete Sub Rosa because this is only a 4.5 minute song. So
come on, guys, get your shit together.
Or should we do their cover of Wood that was on the Dirt Redux?
Cover is so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. We should almost listen to it.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do it.
Great, and it sounds similar to Subrosa, but that cover like got me. I don't know.
All right, let's do it. Do we start from the beginning?
30 seconds. Oh, there you
go. So recognizable, but so different.
It's such a beautiful take of that song. After I heard the song, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back to this house and change it.
gotta hear some vocals.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
I
I love
just
that.
missed the best vocal part.
I did? Okay, wait, hold on.
Got it now. Sorry, no, we don't have.
What's that?
Sorry, I know we don't have infinite time. I just like.
Oh no,
Oh,
it's
it's
good.
okay.
No, it's cool.
Songs,
You
but
know,
yeah.
I mean,
I love it.
I'll out myself
Hmm.
as a teenager and young 20-year-old person in the 90s. I did not like Alice in Chains.
They weren't my
was-
favorite.
No.
I love
Okay,
like
good.
Soundgarden and Smashing Pumpkins,
Mhm.
and I like Jar of Flies, but that's kind of it.
I appreciated Alice in Chains, but I was never the giant fan.
No, I
that went
just-
nuts for him.
Yeah, was not.
I was actually gonna say I think I like this better than the original, but I didn't want anybody
Oh,
to
no,
get up on my case.
if all Alice in Chains songs sounded like that, I
Sounds
would
like that,
I
yeah.
would listen to them more
Sure.
often.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it was just because MTV played them into like a death state, or just I was listening to Tad and the Melvins and shit like that, and so
I
it was
liked
like,
all the stuff around Alice in Chains. I definitely
Yeah.
liked the whole grunge thing. I liked Stone Temple Pilots and
Yeah.
a lot of that. I liked Silverchair a lot. I still do.
oh, dude, that first, honestly, a couple of Silverchair records are great, but I mean, go back and listen to Frog Stomp
right.
and consider how old they were and what was going on. That record's
Yeah.
fucking good.
Weren't they
Also,
like
Young
16 when
Modern-
they're first?
Young Modern is like a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's good. I listened to
The
what
record
Neon.
they did that's totally different.
Yeah.
That
When I
record is
listened to
so
Neon
good.
Ballroom, I think what was it Neon Ballroom? That was
Mhm.
another one. I listened to that one a lot too.
I never.
That one
listened
they
to
still
Silverchair.
had their like same style, but then they did Diorama and they put out. It started with this song that was all orchestra and beautiful and like went from like to 10 different places, and then the rest of the album went a little further back into like what they were doing, and then Young Modern is just like it reminds me of like Fiona Apple or something like that makes no sense, and like
Huh.
Yeah.
that record is so good. Jesus.
Crazy.
His voice just like Kurt Cobain had that color in his voice that even though his voice wasn't perfect, that I think is what people really responded to. You can hear a lot of like harmonics and undertones and overtones in the vocals. And that's what Daniel Johns had that reminded everybody. I mean, he did stuff tonally that was similar too, but that's not his fault. That's just how his fucking voice sounded. He took so much shit at such a young age for being a copycat, but like, fuck you. If I could,
There's really nothing copycat from Silverchair to Nirvana. I don't.
it's just
think
his
at all.
voice. I think. I just think it was
Even
literally how his
is
voice
like,
sounded.
He has a beautiful voice. I think people like Kurt Cobain's voice because it's ugly. Like
Yeah.
I think like what he does with it, it's like kind of punk and he's got a screech and he maintains tone and it's really cool. But like I think like if you're comparing them as singers,
Huh.
I
I
think
might have to like listen to
legitimate.
Silverchair.
Yeah, listen to him. Listen to it. It was
Never
just
did.
there's a certain color in his voice. Oh, you'd like him. He was married to like Natalie Imbruglia or some other pop star, and he got he's into lots of other shit. He wasn't. He was a 16-year-old kid playing
Yeah.
like starter
Yeah.
heavy music. He definitely had a lot more to say musically than came out
crazy.
in that first record.
I mean, they've
Okay.
even got some stuff that you're like, oh, I can see. Like, there's a lot of Doom that's borrowed some things here and there that you can see in some
Yeah.
of their early records.
Okay, we're gonna do this.
All
we
right.
we got Reviver, and I know this is. I don't need to skip forward because I think this is just gonna come out of the gate swinging. So let's hear it.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. This can mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and babies in your mind.
Another song.
It can mean not eating.
What's up?
Skip to another song.
Oh, is that like a?
This will give you a better taste.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
get that.
I love it.
that
But
first
that's more
song,
like a representative of them. But
Gotcha.
that sort of like talk yelling over the vocals, not in musical time, is a very '90s thing to do. I'm trying to dig up some of the examples of it, but I can.
Mind Over Matter was one band that sounded a lot like Mind Over Matter.
All right.
yeah, man,
Okay.
that
Let's keep
band's
cranking
great.
here. Yeah,
Brian
that's
Fell
really good.
also plays. Sorry, what were you saying?
Nothing.
Oh, Brian Fell, the drummer of that band, also plays in Shelter Red, and then
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
but it's a bunch of other dudes that have been hanging around the city playing in a billion bands for years.
That's awesome. And you said this is whose previous band?
Oh,
Was somebody in
Sam.
another. Oh, this is Sam from Cult Leader.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Okay, so Eons. Eons. Let's do this. That's awesome. I'm laughing because
another-
I'm reading the name of the next song. That's our Eons Salt Lake.
Yeah, Salt Lake. To me, they're like another archetypal sort of band where they have this sound that really reminds me of a lot of music that was like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like that blend between emo and hardcore and like
totally.
sad hardcore
Screamo.
melodic stuff and like all over the place and
Yeah.
gets really pissed off and then like you want to cry and then like, you know, just like the really like like really emotional hardcore, I guess.
Is this one of the reunion bands, or are they
Yeah,
active?
that's the other reunion band playing with
Okay.
Reviver, and they're playing back to back on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had young children at that point in history, so there's like a vacuum of musical knowledge from like 2002 to 2008 or so. Like,
But you could name every Peppa Pig episode.
Yes, I can.
From that.
That was
stage.
like my like prime time of being into music.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Boom was in full swing. All the like crazy, like I hate using words that other people use to mean things that I don't mean, but like
Yeah.
post hardcore, like to me isn't like the shitty like emo stuff, like the metalcore emo stuff. Like post hardcore to me is more like just hardcore that starts fucking shit up more and like going on more all over the place and like getting more like technical hardcore without being progressive at all. But yeah, I really love that kind of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me,
At the drive-in kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
post-hardcore to me just means they drink beer now.
They drink beer now.
Every genre though.
Yeah. No, it is. It's like I mean, post-hardcore is like, to me, is like Glassjaw, Quicksand, Orange 9mm, Into Another. It's like all those bands that were in hardcore bands, and they're like, now we're gonna like actually try to play some music.
I thought straight edge was the genre where they all the people that just drink beer now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Which shows my bare musical
They
ass.
drink beer and they're all like big Harley guys.
because those are all in one bucket to
Yeah,
me
exactly.
because I'm a dummy.
Okay, so I have to tell you this: the name of the song that I was laughing at, which I think, so I know the Gaytheist does this a lot, like Nopes.
Yeah.
is they just their craziest song name. So this is called "Avenged 7-Minute Abs." Okay, so Gaytheist.
Oh, well, I know I love Gaytheist.
Yeah. Come on. I mean, if the drummer was any better, he could probably play in High on Fire. You know, I mean,
Drummer, like
wait a second.
that drummer brings so much to that band. It's incredible.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, they're a regular rotation band for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
clip didn't, I don't think, give like a super good shot of what Gaytheist really sounds like, but I mean the drums for sure. The drums are
Yeah.
just all fucking over the place all the time. But to me, kind of Gaytheist almost sometimes sounds like if you played a Horrors record at the wrong speed.
Yeah.
Like it was like all sped up and
Yeah.
fast and crazy. But
Yeah.
I love that kind of like wild rock and roll stuff. Like to me, Gaytheist is a band that I like would just listen to on my own time, and like I truly like that kind of music a lot.
Totally.
Like,
Totally. Who did we see him with Anvil? He was the touring drummer
For Lord Dying.
Lord Dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he did
Oh,
a
really?
stint. He did
Yeah.
a stint playing drums for Lord Dying.
Yeah,
That
and he
was fun.
did do the High on Fire show. Everybody thought he was going to replace Dez.
Yeah.
So
I will go to war for a couple of Avenged Sevenfold records. So if we're gonna do,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna lay my ass out there and say I'm not a huge Alice in Chains fan, I'll go deeper.
and you will say that I am an Avenged
yeah,
Sevenfold
you
fan?
let the pendulum swing the other way all the way.
Yeah.
Fully. No, City of Evil is a great record.
Huh. I never got into them.
That's a different record though. That record was sort of a turning point for them. But there are some crazy songs on that record. Just
I was surprised. I listened to them once a few years ago after not having listened to them for 10 or 12 years, and I can't tell the difference between this band and like Nickelback at all.
Oh.
yeah, that definitely
Like
sort of.
American Victory like rock
Yeah.
or something. Like, they are fucking bad now. Whatever they
You
would
are
have done, we can leave that alone. But
Now they're bad.
Terrible band.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah. That's
Agree.
funny. Okay, next band.
All right.
This is one I'm super excited about because these guys are awesome. Is Ills? They're Portland, right? Ills is
Yeah,
Portland.
fuck yeah. This band I'm
Yeah.
really excited about as well.
So should I do? I know both these songs. Which one should I do? No Luck or Curse? Curse is
they
fucking
should
awesome.
both be good. I don't know. I'm thinking back through. Like I put this playlist together to try to like have it be like good songs of all the
Yeah.
bands.
Okay, let's
and
do
try to,
Curse.
like, grab you, but
Yeah, it's interesting. So let's okay.
Got 75 pounds of barbed wire. You got 15 tons of lead. And there's something stuck in the chicken house that's gonna end up dead. And there's a curse left over the schoolyard. And the harvest has come in. And I got 15 years of heartache. It's such a minute, oh my God. I got 75 pounds of barbed wire. We got 15 tons of lead. And there's something stuck in the chicken house that's gonna end up dead.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat because I want to listen to No Luck too.
Okay, wait.
I love it.
That sounds like what Bon Scott would sound like if he was just talking. Did they bring him back from the dead to talk on their record?
Oh man.
No, that's cool.
I love that shit.
So I'll say one thing I'm really noticing is you aren't putting, I would say, very many bands on here that are like strict genre bands. A lot of this stuff is like crossover, mashup, doesn't fit neatly into one easy box, which I love because
sure.
you definitely, it's like not only a few bands sounded like each other. And even internally within a given song, all of these bands seem to be kind of going all over the place, which is my favorite kind of music. So,
yeah, I think Ills of any band playing the whole festival is like my number one band I'm looking forward to seeing the most, and the band whose music I think is closest in line with like my own personal preferences.
I can see that. Yeah.
They just like, I love that, like they remind me of like Daughters and Jesus Lizard or
Yeah.
Idols or Nets or something like that, where it's just this like gloppy, like heavy, blatant rock and roll. Like it's not like metal at all. It's not like any of these like things. It's just like just loud and fucking wild rock and roll.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like the natural evolution of like the Stooges and MC5 and
Oh yeah.
kind of this like unclassifiable punk ethos, but heavy and high energy music.
I think it's the Jesus Lizard is the band.
and then
It
the
completely
Jesus
is.
Lizard, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my first thought was, it was like, oh, it's like Idols but heavier.
Yeah. Well, it was like, I mean, there's like black metal screaming in there, and then there's like, you know, spoken word almost over the top of it at the same time. You just look crazy.
Yeah. These guys have all been in other bands that have played too. Tim Steiner's the drummer. He was in Microtia. He's an incredible drummer. And then Tom, I forget his last name, Tom played in a band called Black Elk that played Crucial Fest 2. And they just blew it. No one was expecting what they got, and everyone was just totally blown away.
Nice.
He's a fucking maniac on stage, or at least he was the last time I saw him, 9 years ago or whatever.
Wow.
The-
Yeah, hopefully it hasn't slowed down.
Yeah, speaking of black metal, I'm gonna throw down the gauntlet to King Gizzard to really pull the most incredible move ever and make a black metal album that doesn't piss off black metal fans.
Yeah.
If they can pull that off, they win. They're the
I don't
the
think
winners.
I don't think they can pull that off.
You don't think
Yeah.
so? You don't think it's possible?
No, it's not because of them. It's because of black
Well, it's the
metal
fans.
Yeah, it's the fans. Exactly.
I don't think
exactly.
that's possible.
Well,
All right.
that's the challenge.
They're,
If you
they're not going to carry if it's even good. I don't.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Black
Okay,
metal's
Dreadnought. Dreadnought's going to be hard because they
Oh.
have very long songs.
yeah, how do you even pick?
I don't know. Let's just
Another one
I'm
that
gonna
has
go-
like elements of black metal,
straight to the middle.
but not.
Oh, they piss off black metal fans like crazy.
Fuck black metal fans.
Yeah, agree.
I mean,
And yes, that was the same song.
Yes, same song. Let's go a little.
Yeah. Fuck,
These
man.
guys are so good.
go
And I mean,
a little more. Go a little further.
A little further. There's the sax. Maybe not.
A flute? Yeah, they had a flute too.
That's.
if
I mean,
remember
that's
correctly.
crazy. Like, I mean,
I
we'll,
wanted to try and hit one of the so they have parts that have total black metal vocals.
Oh yeah. they
Yeah,
do.
the heavy vocals and tremolo picking and the whole deal.
Okay,
like-
we'll find them. Hold on, we'll find them. There's gonna be some.
yeah.
I mean, I would tell anybody that's listening that's thinking about going to CrucialFest, you have to catch these guys
Yeah.
live because their live show is insane. It is so good.
Yeah. Well, and I remember after they finished their set, I was like, there was a real different energy to the way those songs were written, the songs themselves. And I did some digging on some of the members, and one of them at least has a background in musical theater. And I don't mean to say that in a mean way. Like usually if you say it in a
It's a
rock
good
or
way.
metal context, that's a bad thing. But no, like there was definitely like much more of an arc and a story to the music that would come from the mind of someone who's had to write and perform music that's just like overt storytelling compared to people who are writing standard, pop or commercial music. And
Yeah.
it was like, oh, that 100% makes sense to me. Like, absolutely, I get it that person has a background in composition for musical theater.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, the
really
whole-
looking forward to seeing these guys the first time.
Oh, you've never seen him?
so good.
Never
Oh,
seen it,
shit. Yeah,
so
yeah.
good. So good. Okay, let's jump to Hippie Death Cult real quick. Okay, Hippie Death Cult.
they're another band that can pull people from all ages and all backgrounds
Yeah,
and
totally.
interests because they touch a lot of different stuff.
Completely.
Yeah, I hear a little bit of like Pete Stahl in the vocals, and I don't know. They're one of those bands, like they have a sound. They have that like desert bluesy whatever sound. I really like bands like that do a lot of guitar work, because I feel like sometimes those bands are like, this is what we play because we can't play guitar, and so we play doom and we hit one note every so often. And I like bands that can just like throw a ripping guitar solo in here and there, and not like do exclusively that, but just like throw it in well. And I like that.
Eddie's a ripping guitar player, and if you kind of look at his history, he's a fucking seasoned veteran of a lot of different bands and a lot of different styles of music, and you can tell that guy's put time on the road and knows what the fuck he's doing. Yeah, no, they're good. But then Ben's voice is like kind of like has, you know, they have that sort of, you know, classic rock stoner vibe, but then Ben's voice has kind of a 90s feel to it a little bit, which is an interesting thing to lay on top of, you know, a band that can sound like you're listening to something from, you know, 1979 a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The vocal character is a bit different.
Exactly.
He's got a really strong voice.
Yeah.
So many stoner bands have shitty singers. I mean, it's just
so true.
It's just it's
and
like
at the same time, it's like a requirement to be a good stoner band to have. I mean, there's exceptions, but like, like if you don't have that as a stoner band, like I feel like you are missing like
a lot
it's like
of it.
drums and then vocals and then guitar tone and then playing ability, and like I don't know. Yeah, I can't really listen to like that kind of music like if it doesn't have
A good singer.
really good
I don't
vocals.
know. We talk about that a lot. The Jarl.
Or in just Andy.
the
Andy's theory on how John Garcia got the Caius
John
job.
Garcia. Wait, it is John Garcia.
Yeah, that he had a PA and an El Camino that could carry equipment.
And a van,
he said, I'll be in your band. They said, you can be in the band, but we need to use your PA in your van. And he said, cool, I'm going to sing about pizza and beer. And they're like, all right. I can't stand his voice. He drives me fucking nuts. And that's the reason. He's the main reason I never loved Caius. It's just because his voice didn't grab me.
There's 9 more bands.
Oh, speed round.
Should we do like super speed round? Do you have 15 more minutes?
Okay, yeah, let's try it. Let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
So I'll try to jump. Maybe we'll go back to me jumping in first so that we can like keep it more brief. But I think we're on Swarmer. Is that right?
Swarmer.
Okay, Swarmer is like a local band that I actually was in this band and started off being called Ghorot, because several of us were ex-Mormon, and Ghorot is like this Antichrist guy. Anyways,
that's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, he actually has this whole philosophy in the Book of Mormon that basically explains to Mormons why they shouldn't be Mormon, and it's right there. But then they call it like that. He's like an Antichrist. It's kind of interesting.
No, he's got the blueprint, guys. Just listen to him.
He's actually like making some really good points. Like here, he's like killed or something.
So should we do Covenant or Forecast?
These guys are awesome. They're like super like loud and tough, but it's all polyrhythmic stuff. So like I really get off on like Coalesce style hardcore, where it's like playing a fat beat and then playing something that doesn't make sense except every 7 times it's perfectly on, and then it just like, keeps going. Like you see the contrast each time. I love this kind of music a lot. So
let's do it.
Let's check them out real quick.
I'm gonna score a little bit.
Great.
I love this. It didn't take long. Oh yeah.
That's really cool. I love it. That's so
They're,
great.
I think, one of the best like recent bands to come out, and I'm super pissed that I like quit that band.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought I had like something else going on. I'm like, you guys are a bunch of dads. You're not going to do anything. And like, that's exactly what I am. And I like, quit it on a whim. And then like pretty quickly after there was like, damn, that was a good thing.
I should have stuck with that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
But they got a great new drummer and they're doing awesome. I love those guys a lot.
Everybody needs more polyrhythms in their life. In my
Yeah.
opinion. I think there are 20 mini tutorials on polyrhythms if you go back and listen to the history of this podcast.
Yeah, seriously.
Really? I'm all about polyrhythms. If you ever listen to Loom, you'll see them.
Oh, I
peppered
I will now.
Yeah, we'll introduce Jeff to Loom. Okay, Worship.
Worship, and then 16. These guys are like bringing up the like hard, like more, not like old school hardcore, but more like traditional modern hardcore bands. I always need to have like some hardcore representation in the festival, and that's what they both are.
And if people go back, I think Josh was on episode 35,
Something like that. Let's go
like that.
listen to the full episode.
Yeah. So Worship. Okay. And Worship is a very loud band.
Very loud.
Very loud.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He just posted the other.
A band that features many bands that like to be as loud as they possibly can, and we embrace that.
Yes.
No one likes to be told to turn down from the sound guy. And
No.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm a
16.
trained professional.
16. They're touring with Worship, right? 16 and Worship are touring together, I think, and this is one of the stops. Okay,
16
so-
also has a little bit of that polyrhythmic stuff that reminds me of Coalesce and stuff like that. They've been around for how long? Like a long ass time, right?
Forever. 16's been around for so long.
Yeah, that one turned a few heads to see 16 on the bill. I think there'll be some people out for that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Sixteen.
16.
All right.
I
I don't think we got into any of the polyrhythms unless I can't
Not
count.
there.
Okay.
No, that song actually like was just more of a straightforward driving.
Yeah.
song. It's not like
totally.
necessarily the best representation of their band. That one sounded a little more like Burning Love slowed down a little bit or something.
Yeah, it was good. I still liked it.
All right. Who's
Okay,
next?
Pinewalker.
Pinewalker is a local metal band that plays a wide spectrum of metal in their set. So they'll play 6 or 8 different styles of metal within their music, and some of it
Nice.
yeah, well, you'll see.
All right, let's do it. We'll go ahead. Nice.
Yep.
That's like some straight up, like kind of stoner.
Yeah, that was stoner, but like that might be the only time you hear that in their whole set.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Yeah, that doesn't represent them, like, but I don't think any snippet really would.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of
They're
band
just all
they're
over the place.
Really cool.
Nice. Okay, Ghorot.
Ghorot is kind of does what Bewitcher does to speed metal. Ghorot does to like kind of like, I guess, doom. I fucking hate words. I'm just,
We'll just play
I
it.
hate words.
Word.
Okay, let's do it.
Fuck words. Just
I really
listen.
do.
Got it. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's cool. It's
kinda
like that is not the vocals I expected over that music.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of like why I compare them to Bewitcher, because they come in on top of this music and you're like, oh, now it's blackened to this. Like, it's got that, like,
Completely.
real abrasive vocal style.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it's cool because you have like just enough extreme vocal stuff to satisfy people who are tired of hearing people sing clean all night.
Yeah.
But not enough that you're going to chase everybody out who's
Right.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's not like so insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kinghorn.
Kinghorn.
Kinghorn,
go.
My buddy Aaron Blanchard from up in Portland, he used to play in a band called Price Country. Loom toured with them a lot. Like real nice, clean, straight up rock and roll driving with like butt ass heavy tones.
Nice.
Price Country.
Okay.
If you haven't ever checked them out, fucking
Let's do it. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
More kind of unclassifiable,
Yeah.
just fucking rock and roll.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Exactly.
Next up is
Mortigai Tempo?
Tempo or
Mortigi?
Mortigai Tempo, as I call
Oh.
them. They're like kind of our token psych band for the festival.
Oh,
this year.
nice.
They're local,
Okay.
super cool dudes, good friends, and they run the gambit from like doing like your like real psyche stuff to like more Queens of the Stone Age kind of sounding stuff.
Oh, nice. All right, let's do it. I mean, who wouldn't want to go see that?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
that band would attract everybody. That
Yeah.
is such like a broad like
Appeal.
swath that they throw. Yeah, exactly.
I went to their Facebook page and I was gonna say like, let's guess what kind of guitars they play, and my first guess was a Jaguar, and the first picture I found is a guy playing a Jaguar. I think it's the law when you play music that sounds like that.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
awesome. That's really cool. So they're local?
They're local, yep. And
Nice.
the next one, Threar, is also
Threar?
local, and they're sort of like Eons, but maybe a little more intense. But they have that sort of like real emotional feel, and then a real aggressive feel. But yeah, let's check them out.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I can see that. That's sort of like a post-hardcore-y, I think, to me, sort
Yeah.
of sound. Yeah.
They do a lot of the they have that contrasty thing going on too. So they'll have empty points where it's just like a minute and a half of like sad guitar, and then it builds and comes back in with some like pissed off like emotional stuff, and then it'll go back to like empty stuff. They have a lot of good contrast that way.
That's cool. That's super cool. And you said they are local.
Local band again, yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then
All right.
I think the last one
You
is
made it.
Boa.
Here we go.
And they're Seattle, 2-piece. It's not really party metal. It's like party rock and roll. It's like
All right.
shredder rock or something.
Nice. Okay.
Fun. It's fun.
Talk when you wake at
That's cool. That is just party rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
It's like going to see like Hot Lunch or I don't know. There's just a bunch of bands that are doing that. Flex Bronco. It's just that like kind of happy party
American
rock and roll.
Sharks.
I was just gonna
American
say that.
Sharks,
That's who was the other band that was on that bill. I
They
think.
were on that bill.
Yes,
You're right.
it was Big Business, American Sharks,
think.
whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was American Sharks. That was the first time I'd ever heard them, and that was the one, like, huge Big Business fan, huge like fan of Red Fang, but American Sharks, I was like, holy fuck, like these guys, they were so good.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah.
that's the bands playing CrucialFest. You can kind of see like there's a spectrum of it, but it's a certain chunk, and like
Yeah,
there's really nothing outside of it on either end. It's just kind of like an encapsulated group of genres that span from varieties of metal, varieties of hardcore, varieties of rock, varieties of doom, varieties of psych, and then like they're all have a different spot in that
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Like, it's like diverse, but not whatever. I don't know what the proper term is these days, but not like schizophrenic. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like
it all fit. You can all see it how it fits.
there's not a
It has a
jazz
type.
trio and
Yeah.
then
They're not the same, but they fit.
Yeah, they fit together.
It's like a puzzle piece.
Yes.
None of them are the same. I don't know. I was gonna make up some sort of weird idiom. No, this is fun, and everybody just got introduced to like 30 new bands.
So here's the deal. Prove them wrong and drive or fly into Salt Lake City
Yes.
to go see CrucialFest from far away.
I mean, it's
because-
free.
Well, I mean,
You don't have
honestly,
to buy a ticket.
Spend it on a hotel.
yeah.
What
And
the
by,
fuck else can I do to get you here?
Exactly.
and by the end of August, there still isn't that. I mean, I watched the calendars around the country. There still aren't that many shows like this actually fully planned and definitely going off. And like, there are a lot of people who want to go to Psycho but can't for a lot of reasons. Cost whatever. It's what $300 just to get the weekend pass, and then you got to get a hotel in Vegas. Like, fucking
Yeah.
hop the Santos
And
from
the big festivals, you don't want to really
You
go
have a
to.
good time. We're not that kind of festival. We're smaller and more intimate, but we like it that way, and like it enables us to like have all kinds of bands play that like wouldn't normally play those festivals, and it's really focused on bands from Salt Lake. Like
Yeah.
a lot of those bands, I don't think people would like hear them and guess that they're from Salt Lake unless you really know Salt Lake really well. But yeah, it's coming up August 26th
Man,
through the 29th.
Shelter Red.
Yeah, a few of them, a
Jesus.
few of those really jumped out at me that I'm gonna have to go back to
Completely.
and
Completely.
favorite them and listen through a lot.
Is there anything else you wanna tell us about CrucialFest or anything else?
I mean, just the basics. It's at Metro Music Hall in Salt Lake City. CrucialFest.com's got all the info. It's a free festival, but if you want to support and you want to have a front row seat, you can buy VIP tickets. That's just go to the website. We'll have links and stuff there as well.
And the VIP tickets for all 3 days are only like $75, right?
Yeah, VIP for all 3 days right now is $75. I'm about to go and bump it up right now, actually, because we're selling them pretty well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Also going to release single day ones as well for people that can't go to all 4 days.
Oh, nice.
So you can still get like front row seats and a bunch of other cool stuff. that we're
VIP
trying to do.
perks.
Yeah.
A bottle of champagne. What else? You get a cool hat, maybe.
I might have to fly out on a Saturday. I've
The
got
festival's
Southwest
being,
points.
is being presented by Huge Brands, which is a local clothing company, and we're partnering up to do like a really like the most diverse festival merch we've ever put out. Like this is going to be like a ton of different stuff, printed on all kinds of different things. So and they're helping us to do that by presenting the festival.
That's
That's cool.
Yeah, let's do that really quick because I mean it's the sponsors. Sponsors are the reason you get to do this for free. So
So like
shout
I'm
out
doing
the sponsors.
I'm doing this for free because it's more about me trying to do something that's good for my sponsors than it is about me trying to necessarily put something up that I think I'll sell a lot of tickets for. Like it's better for my sponsors if it's free. They get more reach, and like the money that I use to throw this, that's the dependable portion. And then like some of these bigger things that I've thrown, the reason they haven't worked is because I put this all up and then I have to just cross my nuts and say, I hope people show up, and like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
like,
Yeah.
relatively to what it takes to do that kind of a thing, they haven't. So, but my sponsors were there, and they've always been there. And there's a lot of cool companies that sponsor. So Huge Brands is one of them. Gray Whale Entertainment has been with us the whole time. They're like this local record store chain that's still
Gurl's the best.
alive and thriving because they really care about what they do. And they like, it's important to them that the experience of a record store remain in this area.
Mhm.
And so they're single-handedly like, ensuring that that's there. Black Harbor Strings, which about 13-14 of the bands playing this festival are using their strings. Sorry. Corey's a local guy that's been doing this for a while, and like, nicest guy you'll meet. He'll chat you up, but he'll be there, making connections with new bands and like being represented by the bands that are there. Holy Stone Distilling is a local distillery that does higher end stuff. So of all the local distilleries, that they try the highest or the hardest to like have their stuff like be the best, and then like you've got to pay for it to get that. But like like back to back, like I'm not a vodka person, for instance, but like their Perla vodka like legitimately tastes really good, and it's made from grapes, and it's just they're doing something a little bit different.
Nice.
We got like Rock Dock is like just a local windshield repair company, but
Nice.
the owner
I love
It's the best.
I love the bloody hole in the windshield
Yeah,
too.
I know, it's bloody.
That's a nice touch.
we're actually like remaking that logo for them.
Oh, nice.
But just like a local guy that like really cares about the music scene here and like wants to support, and a lot of these people are like that. Then let's see, we got Liquid Death, which is a company doing really cool things,
Oh, yeah,
trying to
completely.
make a move against plastic bottles, which I think is important. And their branding is just insane. Like their marketing
best.
is like
Sell your soul.
Oh,
Get some water.
Oh, I have shirts. I have multiple Liquid Death
Oh,
shirts.
do you?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I wrote them about the podcast. They haven't written me back yet.
Oh,
Just kidding.
we want a sponsor.
All right. Sorry.
I'll put
Sorry,
that.
I interrupted.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to like shoot through all these so I get through
Yeah.
as many as possible, but just let me know. The Ninth Book of Music is a new shop in town. The Ninth area is like kind of like a fun little area to go in Salt Lake.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot
The
of cool
best.
shit. And I'm not necessarily like a huge book guy, but I walked in there and there was like really, really cool shit. There was like some old pressings of Stephen King stuff and some old music stuff. He also sells instruments and features local artists. Then there's Bonneville Jones, which is like our like in-house photographer guy that does all the photos for CrucialFest and like manages the media passes and stuff like that.
He's the one that snapped the guy.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably. He's the one that caught your Boise buddy, right?
Have you met this guy?
Oh no, I was saying, is he the one that took the loom photo with the crazy guy in the background?
Actually, yes, he is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Sorry, I was calling back to like an hour ago. I do that.
Then Slug Magazine and City Weekly, two publications that you definitely know about already if you
Yes.
live here. But Slug in particular has been supporting the local underground music scene for 30 years now.
Oh yeah.
Then SNS and JRC are two local promoters that
Right.
are just on board to basically help me promote this thing and make it as successful as possible.
Yes.
Then we have Brains Media, who is actually a friend of mine, Mike Reese, who does all of the like graphic design work for CrucialFest. So he's done some of the artwork as well, but he does a lot of our
posters are
branding
great.
stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like a super creative guy.
Yeah. The posters and all the branding are so great.
I would be in trouble if I didn't have like,
most
like him. Like I need graphic stuff like constantly. Like I need this web banner, I need this thing for this ad, I need this
Yeah.
like and it's so all the merch needs to be laid out, and like there's so much work to be done there.
Yep.
But Peyton Design, so Peyton Bischoff is my little brother. He's the one that actually did the artwork for the main artwork this year with
the dinosaur skulls,
Triceratops and the snakes.
Oh wow, that's cool.
That's his design.
Wow.
And I think that covers it.
Wow.
There you go.
Geez, see that, bands? You want some good posters? Paid and design, because that shit is rad.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
He's done
Awesome.
a lot of like art, like really cool stuff throughout the years.
That's awesome. That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, we've been lucky to
Nice.
have good artists that are
This is gonna be so cool.
into
Completely.
it. But that's the
Thanks.
sponsors. But yeah, they they
Nice.
really do like make this whole thing happen. So I
That's
appreciate
awesome.
them.
Yeah.
I appreciate being able to plug them too.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, you know, if you're going to put on a free fest, it's really the sponsors that are paying for it. So
Yeah.
they should get their due.
Yeah, for
You know?
sure.
So, okay, let's wrap this up. I have to ask you one question.
Okay.
You know what it is. And I think you know, we talked about it already, but you know, we've had multiple, well, not multiple. No, we've had three people from Salt Lake. We also had Sarah. Sarah was on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, and Sarah was the only person that didn't say Iceburn. So, your all-time favorite hometown band. Doesn't have to be active.
It's Form of Rocket. Like I think probably that's a pretty common answer around here. But
That was what Sarah said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really, yeah. So
Yeah.
they're just whatever. They're one of those bands I saw when I was a kid, and they came to my town, and I saw The Kill play with Form of Rocket at this tiny nowhere place, and they don't they don't care that there's only 20 kids there. They just go nuts, and they're running all over the place, and they're screaming, and they're playing this music that I've never heard anything like, and it's just like super driving and rhythmic, and the drummer's a psychopath, and the guitars are just like noodly and all. It was like one of those bands. It's like the first band you see that's just like this,
Yeah.
Like a cyclone.
all around, and like. But then you listen to their music, and it's like super on point and tight and technical, and their performance is good, and whatever. They're like the best band ever come out of Salt Lake, I guess, to me.
Nice.
Right on.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's
Well, hey
awesome.
man, I really appreciate the time. Hope we drive like 2 or 3 more people, hopefully, to
Yeah.
to your event.
Hopefully.
Hundreds, thousands. No,
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
lo-
I mean, the good thing is like it, you know, it's not gonna amount to ticket sales. So,
I mean, people can get a hold of me. It's just Jarom at CrucialFest.com if like for anything, whether it's like bands or someone that wants to sponsor or someone that's got questions about ticketing or logistics or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want.
I feel like next year you need a bigger Bay Area contingent, and I know a couple people who know a few bands that after
do it.
listening to this round of bands, I think I get the idea for what you might like.
Let's do it. We did like a lot of Portland bands this year. Let's do a bunch from San Jose and the Bay Area next year.
Yeah. We definitely. I mean, things are hopping around here right now. There's a lot of really great bands.
Yeah.
So
This
Sounds
always
good.
happens, you know. I wanted to also talk about what you have coming up and all this other stuff, but now we don't have time. So
well,
I'm
nobody
glad
has.
to focus on the bands though, because that's really
exactly. We got to focus on the bands.
about.
Yeah, what he has coming up is Crucial Fest.
Yeah, Crucial
and
Fest.
you are a month and a half out, and I know the
Oh,
fucking
Jesus.
grind you're in for from
Yeah.
now until like
I'm just trying to embrace it and go full force. It's like it's all I'm eating, drinking, breathing, everything. Crucial Fest all the time, but I'm committed to making it work. So
awesome. All right, well,
Yeah.
thanks, Jarom. You have a
thanks
killer
so much,
night.
guys.
Yeah,
I
thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
the opportunity
This was
to
fun.
be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll tag you when we post this up. This will come out in a week and a few days your time. So
Cool.
So we'll get it out and tag you, and then you can share it around, and hopefully we can drive some more folks to Salt Lake City at the end of August.
Hells yeah.
But-
That would be
yeah.
great.
Hell yeah!
We'll get that Spotify playlist shared too.
Oh yeah, we'll share this. We'll put all that stuff in the description for the episode.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
This is
Well,
great.
thanks, guys.
Yeah, great to meet
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night.
Okay. You
Take
too.
care. Bye bye. That was a lot of music.
That was a lot of music.
Those are some good bands.
Yeah, some really good bands.
Oh, really good bands.
And it's funny when you listen to something like that, you can really like hear somebody's taste real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I see you.
I see you.
I see what you
I
like.
see what you're doing.
I got a few ideas.
No, that was awesome. That was awesome. I like having these fun things.
Yeah.
And actually, in a lot of those bands, I had never heard of, so they were new to me.
No.
However, I wasn't gonna like nitpick production.
No.
Well, you know, I think they could have mixed the
Yeah,
drums
this-
differently.
No, this is a different purpose for
Yes,
listening
exactly.
to
Different
music.
purpose. But I think it's, you know, there's so many of these, like, well, not I shouldn't say so many, but these little local
Regional
festivals are so much fucking fun.
Yeah, they are
because
fun.
the bands hang out.
Yeah.
The bands watch the shows. You get to meet them. You get to hang out with them. You make friends with them. You go to their town, and when you're in another band, now you have these other people that can help you book tours, and you have like contacts.
Yep.
And
and
you don't get that at giant festivals.
You don't. And a lot of what you're going to get at a festival like this is people in other bands just coming to hang out.
Yeah.
People not playing the show.
Yeah.
That is a lot of music that will appeal to other musicians.
Yeah, completely.
And so I can see that crowd being a very like band heavy crowd.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I think after the last 2 nights, I'm not tired. No, I'm out of words.
You're out of words.
I don't have any more words, guys.
No more words. It's almost Friday too.
Can you imagine that? It is almost
I'm
Friday.
always out of words on Fridays.
It's already Friday for me because I'm fucking out.
Yeah.
No more work.
Nice.
3 weeks.
Woo.
No jab. And then a job again.
Sweetness.
And then
Well, we got a
depression
few weeks,
sets
though.
in.
No. This is somewhere new.
Yes.
It'll be exciting for at least 2 years.
Well, that'd be good. I'll take 2 years
Yeah.
of exciting.
Yeah.
I picture more like 3 months.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, go to Crucial Fest, you dipshits.
Yes.
I know a good chunk of our listeners are on the West Coast from looking at the stats, the analytics. That's natural.
Well, it's funny because I've on their Facebook page, I noticed that when they posted the tour poster, I saw a lot of familiar names.
Yeah.
Some people from Portland that we know that were all commenting on it. They follow the Portland bands. They've been to some of our shows.
Yep.
The usuals.
A lot of cross pollination.
Yeah.
Tia.
Tia.
No,
Tia.
Tia.
Oh my God.
I won't tell her you called her Tara. Don't worry.
I think she listens.
Does she?
God damn it. Oh, I don't know. Probably
I'll
not.
find her IP
Tia.
and block her.
I can't believe I called her Tara.
You jackass.
Fuck, I'm a dipshit.
All right. Well,
Brian.
hey, everybody. Thanks for listening
thank you.
to 30 more bands. If you listened to last week's episode, the 2 weeks ago's episode, now you've got like 55 bands that we've listened to in just 2 episodes.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I
All
bet that's our most popular episode yet.
Well,
Not.
Here's the only words I have left. Thank you for listening to tonight's episode of
Blynd Submyshynz. I feel like the Dr. Pepper guy.
We out.
Blynd Submyshynz.
Lil Pep.
Lil Pep.
The guy from American Idol.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another week of Blynd Submyshynz. See episode description for links to all artists discussed in this episode, and visit their sites to support them directly by buying music and merch. Share links to the podcast or YouTube videos with your friends, especially if they're in bands. Bands, if you want us to listen to your music on a future episode, please submit one song to blyndsub@gmail.com. That is blyndsub, blyndsub@gmail.com. Bandcamp links preferred, but not required. Find us on social media at Blynd Submyshynz. Full video episodes are available on our YouTube. Remember, we go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.